I'm looking at Shelly and Shelly. I'm looking at Shelly smiling. She's got it. I can't see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dripping Springs, Texas for the THSLL State Tournament, where today we have a 3-seed versus a 7-seed for the Cavaliers from Lake Travis take on the Episcopal School of Houston Knights in a Class A semifinal. I'm Heckman Harrison, your play-by-play announcer, and joining me in the booth today is Hayward Lee. Coach Hayward Lee. Coach, how are you doing this afternoon? Well, this morning, excuse me.
Heckma, I'm doing great. I am so excited to be here with you and all the folks at home. We have got a wonderful day of lacrosse in store for us. This is Mother's Day weekend, yes. Obviously a special weekend. So happy premature Mother's Day to all the moms out there. But it's also a special weekend in the THSLL. This is a weekend where dreams come true. This is a weekend where hard work pays off and where seasons end with tears of joy. I'm so excited to be here with you and to call every minute of the action.
Well, Coach Lee, I tell you what, just to give a little bit about your background, I know that you have been a coach, coaching lacrosse for a number of years for St. Mark's, and so really lucky and fortunate for us here at Game On Sports to have your knowledge in the booth, and we're going to use all of it, my friend. Just know that we are going to use it. But you're right. This is going to be an exciting weekend of lacrosse for all of these teams that's worked so hard. And I want to talk about Lake Travis, a team that comes in with a record. They're the 7th seed. They come in with a record of 4-7. Obviously, the record does not dictate or say really the kind of team that they've been all season long.
Yeah, 7th seed is fake news. They may be a 7th seed on paper, but they are way, way better than that. The record at 4-8 is not impressive, but when you account for the fact that 5 of their games were against 5 of the top 8 teams in the state, all seated in the AA bracket. This is a team with a lot of firepower that can play with anybody in the state.
And Episcopal School of Houston obviously comes in with the 3 seed, and they have been rocking with a 14-5 record coming into today, and they are one of the favorite teams in this tournament as we get things going here at the face-off. And the Cavaliers from Lake Travis take the possession as we get started here in Dripping Springs.
You can see right away that Episcopal Houston feels like they're going to have a matchup problem at the face-off X. They faced off with a pole there, Rhett Davenport, and that is a sign that they feel that they will struggle to get possessions at the X.
Yeah, one of the names you definitely have to keep, or numbers you need to keep an eye on, is number 12, Jonah Rogers, the Lenore Rhines commit for the Cavaliers. Getting an opportunity before the game to talk with Coach DeJoe, and he had a lot of great things to say about that attackman that's working behind the X, trying to get top side, and that's a good defense by number 17, Connor Shanley. Possession stays with Travis, and again, Rogers working from behind the X, trying to facilitate, and the Knights are all over him and calls the turnover. Well, no. Oh, so they thought they did.
Episcopal in their standard zone that they will play in every game, no matter who they're matched up against. They double team aggressively out of it, and that's what you've seen so far.
Yeah, Levy, you pointed that out in the pregame, that they are going to be attacked. Defensively, they're going to stay in that zone. As you see the first shot by the Cavaliers.
And expect that young man in the goal, number 2, Gatto, to see a lot of rubber this afternoon.
And that's Fabio Medina with the first shot for the Cavaliers. And heard someone ask the question about the shot clock. Hadn't seen one. Looks like it's down there, so we're looking for the shot clock. It's down below as the Knights are able to get the easy clear and are setting up on offense.
Lake Travis, by contrast, a man-to-man team. They have superior poles, and look for them to put the EHS offense under a lot of pressure, Heckma.
And Colin Bennett setting up behind the X, getting the pass back up top, and the Knights basically on the swing, setting up their offense. And you're right, they're coming way far out on the perimeter to defend, and that's a good check there by number 14, Garrett Maddox, for the Cavaliers. The Knights taking their time, setting up their offense, and that's Jackson Hearn, the All-American, working from behind the X, trying to get a pass out.
Hearn is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting for this AHS offense. That's the one matchup, as you notice, that Lake Travis did not completely extend on because of their deep respect for him and what he can do dodging from X.
Definitely a guy that you have to account for, and the Cavaliers with the turnover and the clear, being hounded for the Cavaliers was number 21, and they create the turnover as Jackson Hearn is on the move. And a shot committed by Colin Bennett. Shots out of bounds, and possession will go back to the Cavaliers, who are now on the move. Garrett Maddox gets the pass out to Jonah Rogers. Rogers working on the hash mark.
You can see how quick that double team comes. The minute the Lake Travis player's back is turned, a white jersey is coming to double.
They are not taking any chances with
Good defense!
See on
Go!
Cavaliers create that turnover, and now they're on the move. It's number 13, Aiden Howard,
Well, this game being played at a furious pace right now. I think both teams could benefit from a whistle and a deep breath right now. As you can see, all the turnovers and action going on in between the restraining lines is quite frenetic.
Yeah, both teams, like you said, they could a timeout or something just to settle the nerves, because they are at a pace right now. And if we can continue this for 4 quarters, boy, there's some guys going to need an IV bag at the end of this game.
That's right.
Working from behind the X is Jackson Hearn.
Well, you can see the quickness there. Great split, left to right split to get top side. He elected not to shoot that ball, but he's going to be a matchup problem.
Yeah, working up top is number 99, Drew Hafner. Hafner being guarded by Reeves Kolnick. And Coach DeJoe pointed out that Kolnick is one of his best defensemen. Made it a point to mention that.
Yeah. You can see the confidence they have in him, letting him go press out all the way to the 40-yard line. And we've got our first flag of the afternoon. And I believe we've got a young man from Episcopal down. You hate to see that. Hopefully he'll hop up and everybody will be okay here.
Yeah, that's Colin Bennett. Let's get up.
Good to see him walking up and walking around. He'll hobble off on his own power.
See Coach Donnelly coming over to speak with Bennett, making the substitution. With 6 minutes and 37 seconds here in the first period, we are scoreless.
I think the first team that's able to let go of these butterflies and slow themselves down in between the ears and get into their offensive structure is going to give themselves a huge advantage.
And I think this pace obviously is one that favors Lake Travis, because offensively they're keeping the Knights out of the net right now. So they've got to consider that a win as well. Trying to get the clear is number 1. And that's Fabio Medina.
But you can see now EHS extending their pressure out of their zone at 2 poles up top and almost forced the turnover.
Yeah, and they are hounding with those long poles. Goodness. And bringing the double team. Let's look and see what that is.
I think right now, if you're Lake Travis, you need to really emphasize spacing with your players and let the ball do the work, because their players right now carrying into double teams.
And that's creating those nightmare situations when they do. So spacing is absolutely what they need. As you pointed out, Coach Lee.
You can see right now the 3-3 zone, the 2 short sticks playing the 2 high corners.
Travis, the Cavaliers trying to find a cutter. Standing on the porch is number 5.
Lake Travis choosing to counter with what is probably their man-up offense, 3-3, but not a lot of motion right now. Somebody's going to have to beat their man. There you go. Now you've got the defense on a carousel, and there's your first good shot opportunity and a fine save.
And also our first penalty, and that's Ryan Gatto, the goalie for the Knights, as we await the penalty.
Beautiful save on that 10-yard shot. Saw it well into his stick, made the save clean, but unfortunately for the Knights, penalty flag on the carpet.
So we have a 1-minute cross check, and serving the penalty is going to be Drew Hafner. He's going to be in the sin bin for 1 minute. So the Cavaliers will have the man-up advantage.
And I'm sure Coach Donnelly loves to see his goalie make that first big save of the game, especially as a zone team. To know your goalie is seeing the ball well is a huge comfort.
Cavaliers back on the move. That's Fabio Medina with the first shot, pretty much facilitating the offense for the Cavaliers. And I keep pointing out number 5 standing there on the crease, and they're trying to find that cutter. But spacing is a problem for the Cavaliers right now as the Knights get the turnover and are on the move. And that's a shot that ricochets off the pipes. Possession stays with the Knights as Jackson Hearns hustles.
It's a brilliant effort by the Knights there, who forced the turnover on man down and then come down and almost score a man down goal, if not denied by the left pipe.
Get a reset of the shot clock with 4:42 here in the first quarter.
Watch for Episcopal to just hold the ball here and kill the rest of the penalty. Lake Travis may choose to extend pressure since they have an extra man, or they may choose to just slow play this and concede the penalty.
And you see them bring the double team out immediately.
And force the turnover.
Yep. And that's good defense by the Cavaliers. Working hard to get the clear, and they do. That's number 2, Caden Bender. The long pole trying to get the party started for the Cavaliers with 4:05 here in the first. Still 0-0 for both teams. And as you mentioned, Coach Lee, it has been a lot of nerves for both squads.
That's a brilliant look. That's where Lake Travis has got to make some hay right now in early offense before the zone gets set up. It's a great skip look and a really good shot, just sails wide.
Yeah, that's Blake Morton from over on the far side, GLE, with the cannon. Lost the ball off of his head. Knights are on the move again.
Oh. Another one off the pipe, Heckma. Holy smokes.
And that was one big fella on the move with that long pole. Number 66, Hutch Coward.
That's a brilliant play.
He came all the way, and that's Julian Garcia. Coming all the way out to start the offense, but nonetheless, that's another turnover created by the Knights. Oh, and that's a big fella down there, number 99, Drew Hafner.
Yeah, they got him for a ward there. So turn the ball over to Lake Travis. The same skip look. This time, back of the net.
And what they say, shooters are going to shoot. And they're doing exactly that as Blake Morton, the lefty, goes right back to the same shot as before. And the Cavaliers draw first blood here in Dripping Springs. Lake Travis 1, Episcopal School of Houston 0.
Well, you saw Rogers to Morton a few minutes ago, and the shot sailed just wide. When something looks like it's going to work, you stay with it. The same skip look this time. Morton watched it in his stick and buried it in the corner, and we have broken the seal on this one.
Yes, exactly we have. And I said that before, that the pace did favor Lake Travis and finally able to take advantage. So back down at the X.
And again, second face-off goes to Lake Travis.
And Travis able to come out with it. And at the Matthew Stanislas. I do apologize if I butchered that last name. I will work on it as we get through this game, but he is your Fogo that is getting all the victories down at the X. And extra possessions for the Cavaliers. And again, that zone defense is staying intact. They have not changed anything, as you pointed out. They are going to stay with that, Coach Hayward Lee.
Well, playing against a zone requires what I call the 2 Ps. It requires passing and it requires patience. Rarely will you see the initial dodger be able to break the defense down and score, but 2 or 3 passes can create great open shot opportunities, as you see right now for Lake Travis.
Trying to get back topside was Rogers, and that's a shot that ricochets at the legs.
You can see they found something against the zone. Now they're attacking it from behind where there's no ball pressure from EHS, and they're skipping it to shooters up top.
A second ago, that Reeves Kolinick had a shot right in front of the cage that bounced over the top. I look for them to try and go right back to that.
Here it is. A brilliant save.
Yeah, Ryan Gatto does a wonderful job. He was being peppered with shots on that offensive possession.
That looked to be Morton again on the shot. This time he chose to go low to low, and Gatto was all over it.
Ryan Choi with the turnover, and that's another shot attempt. You could tell Blake Morton is feeling it.
I have a feeling he might be a little sore at the end of the day.
You think so? I would tend to think as well.
That's a good sore.
It's bad passes. Players race to that end line.
That's an unfortunate turnover. Again, it really requires patience in your passing game. Sometimes something that high school players can struggle with, especially in big games where they're emotionally amped up, to calm yourself down and realize that you might have to move this ball 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times in order to get the shot you want against the zone. A challenge.
And Lake Travis with another turnover with the long post shot, and it's good from about 15 yards out.
Well, that's Luke Elder, the defenseman, the all-state defenseman, clearly a special player for Lake Travis, and what he does on the wings, in between the restraining lines and on the ground, and then he obviously can do a little bit more than that. He can finish his dinner as well. So,
and he just did with the long pole, getting the party started. Luke Elder, the leading ground ball specialist he's the all-time leading ground ball getter for the Cavaliers, and he cashes in. These faceoffs are starting to mean a lot now.
Well, 5 seconds left in the quarter. I would expect both faceoff guys to just try to tie each other up and let this go to the break.
And you're absolutely correct, and that is the end of the first quarter, where the Cavaliers from Lake Travis lead 2-0 over the 3-seed Episcopal School of Houston. And so far, Hayward Lee, just diagnose what you've seen for him.
Well, what I see is a lot of helter-skelter play, unsettled play in between the restraining lines as both teams sort of struggle to get into a rhythm. You can see emotions are high, and the play is a little bit frenetic. I expect that to settle down as both teams get into a rhythm. The EHS zone has given Lake Travis fits in the 6-on-6 settled offensive game. So you can see Lake Travis really trying to push the envelope in terms of early offense and unsettled play. That last goal being a classic example of using your pressure ride, creating a turnover in the middle of the field, and then creating offense before the defense in the zone gets a chance to get set up. From EHS's standpoint, I think what you see is they have struggled breaking down their defender one-on-one. There's only really been one guy that's done any effective dodging, and that's Jackson Hearn from X. So Mike Donnelly right now, the EHS head coach, has got to figure out who can break down their matchup and where they can create advantage and try to get that Lake Travis defense on a carousel.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much from the Episcopal School of Houston side looking at Hearn do his thing and try and get back top side. But on the other side for Lake Travis, something that you mentioned was them creating that space. And you saw that was exactly what they started to do at the end of that first quarter, creating that space and finding those little small holes in the zone and taking advantage.
That's right. And the zone creates problems, but it also creates opportunities. You've got to take a look and see where you can attack the zone with minimal pressure. And I think they found a weakness there at X that I'm sure Mike is talking to his kids about defensively right now. And they were able to skip the ball up top and create some excellent shooting opportunities. And, of course, we saw the skip pass for the goal. Yeah, right
now it's Matthew Stanislaus at the at the face-off for the Cavaliers, that is.
And a change from EHS. They are not facing off with their pole now. So that didn't work. They've lost all the face-offs so far, so Coach Donnelly trying something different. And they won. They won the draw. Whether they'll win the ground ball, we'll have to wait and see.
A bit of a scrum in the middle of the field. Right, and possession is going to go to the Knights.
So a nice adjustment by EHS, and they get their first face-off win of the day.
Coach Donnelly recognizing that the team needed a change at the X. Great adjustment. And the Knights patient on offense.
And you can see Hearn now being shut off by Lake Travis's number 4. So they're actually flat out denying him the ball. So they've seen what we saw, which is this is a young man who can create offense. So as you can see, 4 is not going to let him catch the ball.
And that's good defense by the Cavaliers, and good to see number 25, Colin Bennett, back on the field. He went out with an injury.
And now they've got numbers.
Easy save for Ryan Gatto. The Cavaliers are swarming.
And we've got a flag on the carpet, so EHS will get to play with a slow whistle here. Ah, it's a great cut.
Going to have the man up.
Now they should be 2 men up. Second penalty happening right at the end of that play. Boy, could be a very different game were it not for 3 pipes that EHS has hit.
No, absolutely. And in a situation where you have the 2-up advantage for the Knights, what is your offensive mind state and set that you go into to take advantage of this?
Sure. So with four players that are going to have to wheel to 5 spots on your perimeter, the crease should be wide open. So the first thing I would tell my team is let's spin the ball, let's get these 4 defenders moving, and then let's look inside and see if we can get a dunk.
Caden Bender, and also, let's see, Caden Bender and Jonah Rogers serving the penalties.
And, of course, if the crease is covered up, that means somebody's going to have a wide-open outside shot. You can see Hearn now playing the point spot in the 3-3, but he will not stay there as they get into their man-up motion.
And you have 2 men right now standing right in front of the crease, not able to locate. Was Colin Bennett.
Maybe not the shot that they wanted in that situation.
Oh, wow, coming all the way out of the cage.
Be careful, you're 2 men down.
Exactly.
Not a lot of help.
And that's Julian Garcia with the clear for the Cavaliers.
That's a great job by the Lake Travis attack to support him. And now they're going to kill this penalty. And if you're EHS, you might consider pressing out here and trying to get it back.
They obviously heard exactly what you were saying, and they did exactly that. Trying to press and not give the Cavaliers any time to work through this man-up situation. It's with 33 seconds here on the shot clock. And they get Rogers back on the field.
And now we're all even.
Fabio Medina working on the far side and back to Rogers. Rogers with the slick pass. Oh, that guy has it on his plate today, does he not?
Mr. Morton again.
Holy moly, Blake Morton.
We might have to rename that lefty wing spot today the Morton spot.
I'm telling you, Morton Steakhouse, he's eating.
I would say that shot was worth its salt, wouldn't you?
I would say exactly that, man. What a laser shot as a timeout is called. The Cavaliers now from Lake Travis up by 3 with 8:50 here in the second. And Coach Lee my goodness, everything is going the way of the Cavaliers today.
It is. When you think about 3 pipes that EHS has hit that have come up dry for them, and then that last particular sequence, you had EHS force Lake Travis into a turnover. The ball nearly went out of bounds and was saved and then skipped across the defense, and Morton went, "Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm wide open," and wound up getting a good look at the cage. So that sequence could have gone very differently had the ball bounced a different direction. So that's the breaks of the game, and the score is 3-0.
Yeah, that was it. The pass that you're talking about was from number 12, Jonah Rogers, rushing to the end line to flip that back to Fabio Medina. Now, Medina makes a long pass across the field that obviously, could have been intercepted by a long pole, but is able to get it to Morton. And, this guy has ice in his veins from 15 yards out. He doesn't even think about it and immediately shoots and scores.
So many of the goals in lacrosse, and one of the great things about our game is you can script your offense and you can script your defense, but half of what happens comes off of unsettled, scrambled action that you really can't script. And that's a classic example of that. Unfortunately for EHS, they were not able to come up with that ball off the turnover, and fortunately for Lake Travis, they were able to come up with it, save it, skip it across the defense, and put it in the back of the net.
Now, we saw the adjustment made by Coach Donnelly at the X earlier pay off.
And he's going with the short stick again.
And able to get it out. But the possession will. Waiting on the ground ball.
And there's our friend again, Luke Elder, with another ground ball on the wing. So he does a little bit of everything for this Lake Travis team.
Great check there by number 41. Senator Flood. Oh, we have a scrum down here. Let's see who wants to come up with this possession. Number 41, Flood, comes away with it.
They better step on the gas if they're going to get this cleared.
I think that's more than 20. Nope. No, they do. They get past it, but that's a turnover that goes to the Cavaliers, and they got numbers in the middle if they can take advantage.
That's a great play by number 5, the EHS defenseman. Save a goal.
Working his way back up this way is number 5. And that's Nico trying, and that's a flag, a penalty. I think we're going to get a slash.
They just drew a slash out of the double team. Now this is a free play for the Cavaliers. Brilliant handle.
Yeah, right. Able to stick a pole out there, and I tell you,
Morton,
Morton,
a great
he is
hitch and
again.
go from Morton. Boy, he is really feeling it.
Oh, Morton, my goodness. Somebody do something about number 26.
Well, when you've made a couple of shots, defenders are going to close out on you with extreme prejudice, and that allows your hitch and go to work. So Morton right there able to hitch and get the EHS defenseman off his feet and get to the middle where his shot angle increased. And as you can see, he put it in the back of the net.
That's exactly what happened, and you're running at a shooter like that. He steps back, kind of very level-headed from out there on the hash marks and shoots. It's pretty much a laser shot to the left corner.
So important as a defenseman when you make that approach to sit down in your chair and not overcommit, get that stick head forward and trust that your goalie can make the save. But easier said than done when you have an athlete like Morton who can move well.
Blake Morton so far with 2 goals. And doing all the work.
I see we've got another timeout on the field. Probably a good thing for EHS right now just to settle itself and compose their sideline. Just a 4-goal game. We are far, far from being done here.
Yeah, 7:23 here in the second period. And I really just have to, for Episcopal School of Houston, they obviously come up the 3 seed, 14-5 season. They've had so much success versus, the upper echelon talent in lacrosse in Texas and traveling abroad. what do you see in what they're doing right now? I mean, we talked about the nerves in the first quarter, but they seem to have settled in, but they're not making the plays.
Well, I think it comes back to, first and foremost, they've got to figure out how they can create offense to Lake Travis. And they have struggled breaking down the Lake Travis defenders. And at its most basic level, lacrosse offense begins with who can beat their man. And if you can beat your man and score, great. If the defense needs to support that matchup, then we can move the ball and attack the backside. And right now, we haven't seen EHS break down any Lake Travis defenders. And the one top flight threat that EHS has demonstrated early in the game, Lake Travis has figured out, and they're denying him the ball. So I would expect EHS to try to figure out creative ways to try to get Jackson Hearn the ball and get back into the flow of offense, let him go to work from X, break down defenders, and try to find guys off of that.
And they're doing this exactly the same thing, running those defenders out at Hearn, and it's impacted his game so far. Hadn't been able to facilitate and get to other attackmen or guys that are cutting.
It's frustrating when you get denied the ball. Yeah. You've been one of the best players on your team all year long. You want the rock in your stick. You want to make plays, and now somebody's not letting you catch it.
And what they're saying is, if someone's going to beat us, number one won't be the man.
That's right.
So ESH have to find another attackman.
We've got a man-up face-off here. And he released from the box early. This should go over to EHS, which is very helpful to them as they will have to kill this penalty.
Garrett Maddox just a little over anxious there coming out of the box early, and that's the turnover that's going to go.
But, Coach, the ball was so close.
It was right there.
It's right there. Come on. One step.
Here's the setup, seeing him get it down to Hearn, and look at that defense come immediately on Hearn.
Well, they're still man down, so they need to be careful here because Lake Travis has an extra man. Unfortunately, that's a turnover.
And number 23 for Travis on the move and finding a man inside. Oh, they were close. They were close, and that's Nico Triant.
That's really good execution on the break. Unfortunately, just weren't able to finish it.
And finally, numbers for ESH. Knights not able to take advantage, and looks like we're all knotted up here.
And now we're back to all even. Both teams at even strength.
6:13 in the second and getting close, and that's Colin Bennett with the shot.
That's nice to see for EHS.
Oh, what a hustle to that end line.
Bennett able to get underneath his man and get a quality look on Cage, but unfortunately they're not able to win the backup.
Jace White with the hustle and earning the possession for his team. Kalanick for the Cavaliers looked like he was calling his number. That's a shot that the net moves, and everyone for Lake Travis thinks that's a goal.
Everybody exhales for a second.
Absolutely.
The dreaded mom goal.
The mom goal.
Appropriate here on Mother's Day weekend.
Yes. Jim Dixon, who was at the other field here at Dripping Springs. We have two fields, two games going on simultaneously throughout the weekend. Game on Sports is bringing all of the action to you. The THSLL state tournament. A beautiful day here in Dripping Springs. There's a nice crowd here. On hand at Dripping Springs Middle.
You can see EHS just pressing a little bit there, trying to find that off-ball cut before they've really gotten into offensive flow, and unfortunately just didn't work out.
And we get a yard sale and by Patrick White. And that's going to be a turnover, and possession goes back to the Knights. Knights so far not able to get any scores with 5 minutes. In the second. And there's that man, Jackson Hearns, working from behind X for the Knights, trying to facilitate the offense, and look at that double team come out immediately. Dodge and shot, and boy, even better save.
Yeah, that's pretty safe. That's a good shot, good save. Good lacrosse.
Julian Garcia. With that pick on the other side, and another save at point-blank range. Julian Garcia, boy, he is putting in work in his bag in that cage.
Well, even though that didn't work out, I think you found a lot to be encouraged by if you're EHS, beginning to generate some offense there. You're getting your best player the ball. Got a good look from up top. You created some two-man game action there, and you forced a turnover here at the defensive end.
Yeah, Drew Hafner is leveling people out here on the far side, working for the clear. And the Knights seemingly may have, like you pointed out, Coach, gotten a little confidence from those attempts on goal. See if it continues. As Colin Bennett works from behind X with Jackson. Being defended and showing a lot of love. That's good defense by number 23. And that's Zach Wilsley, excuse me.
Oh, I love the look back to the pole there. Love it. That's Luke Elder, who helped pick that ball off the carpet on the turnover. Comes down to his attack. His attack rewards him right back. He gets a great look on the cage, just wide.
Cavaliers being patient, setting up their offense. We have 2 minutes and 56 seconds here in the first half. That's another shot.
If you're EHS, that's the shot you want Lake Travis taking.
Fabio Medina with number 1 with the shot for the Cavaliers. And the Knights are on the move, trying to get something going in transition, but have to pull it back out. Drew Hafner sitting in the middle of the field for the Knights.
Oh, we've got a flag on the carpet.
Didn't see the violation, but you're right.
Something that happened off ball. Procedure call. That could be something as simple as a mouthpiece not being in. Although typically that would be handled through a warning first.
So Knights with the advantage. 2:05 here in the second.
Both goalies playing well so far. 6 saves for Gatto from Episcopal, 4 saves for Lake Travis.
See him again trying to work Colin Bennett.
That's a great look inside.
Colin Bennett with a great look and pass to Jack Schaefer. Schaefer not able to control, and here we are again with the Cavaliers in close. And we have a Cavalier that's down on the carpet.
That could have very easily been a goal. Unfortunately, just weren't able to handle the pass inside there.
As we have an injured player on the carpet, and we'll step away for just 1 second here on Game On Sports. We'll be right back when action resumes. Back in action here at Dripping Springs Middle School as Lake Travis Cavaliers lead by 4 over the 3 seed Episcopal School of Houston. Right now the Knights are getting all that they can handle from the Cavaliers. You talked about the saves, and those for both of these goalies have been peppered with shots. So far, Julian Garcia holding up his end of it.
Well, I don't think you get this far in the playoffs without quality goaltending. Both teams have solid netminders. Another brilliant save right there, the 7th of the day.
And that's Landon Phillips. Again, they're taking these shots out from a far distance. Hadn't seen anything really in close so far. It's been from about 10, 15 yards out.
Well, and you're going to need good perimeter shooting to break down a zone.
It's an errant pass.
And that will go over to EHS.
Not called.
I'm not sure why that wasn't called.
And they stop action, and that's a timeout called by the Cavaliers that have the.
I can see Coach Donnelly is very respectfully making his case to the official.
Well, we have the ambient light, the ambient mic down in the crowd, so they are giving the referees an earful on that call. Why wouldn't that over and back be called right there?
It should have been called, in my opinion, unless the official saw something that we didn't see, which if the ball was tipped, then it would not be called. But it looked like the ball was just skipped across the defense and not handled and went straight over the midfield line, and that should have gone over to the EHS Knights.
Now, I think the one thing that's really surprising for me is just to see the Knights on offense, just their ability not to get a bunch of attempts on goal, and how it just seems like every shot attempt for them is very difficult. Is it just the Cavaliers' defense that they're presenting to these guys and shutting down Jackson Hearn? What is it specifically that the Cavaliers are doing that's limited?
Well, again, it goes back to limited numbers of guys have been able to break down their defenders. So let's credit Lake Travis with having some quality defenders out there on the field, short sticks and poles. And then, as you saw 2 possessions ago, flushing a quick double team to create turnovers. And then I think also you can make the case for some missed opportunities from EHS. They've had a couple of cuts inside that, had they been caught and converted, this game would look very different. And of course, we also have seen 3 pipes hit as well. So I think if EHS can just settle down and get into their offensive rhythm, they're going to be able to create some shots. But it starts with figuring out, number 1, who can break down my matchup, and number 2, showing some patience.
Action resumes here. The Cavaliers are working on the far side. And that's Jagger Davis that goes down.
That's a great timeout from Lake Travis. As you can see, he was turning the corner inside and slipped and had a Knight player on top of him. That ball was about to be a turnover waiting to happen, and very astutely Lake Travis called timeout.
Well, on the assumed over and back that the Cavaliers were able to regain the possession, Coach DeJoe called a timeout, and then obviously right there with Jagger Davis on the floor. Can't take any of those timeouts with you, so you better get them in now with 4 seconds left in the half. So don't know if they have any 4-second plays in there, but Coach Haywood Lee, what do you think?
I think 4 seconds. It's not quite the NBA. You still don't have time to take 11 timeouts between 4 seconds and triple zeros, but you do have time to set something. You can create something at a 2-man game with the ball, and something with a cut or a 2-man game off the ball. You've got time to make 1 pass.
And let's see what they have drawn up as both teams come back on the field.
And of course, EHS smartly, now instead of playing the short in the high corner, they're going to play the pole in the high corner and put the player starting with the ball under some significant ball pressure. That's Jonah Rogers.
sure you keep your eyes on number 12.
Actually, EHS in man-to-man. Holy smokes, mark this.
What is today's date?
You can
There's
see
the pass.
You can see the two-man action off ball, and they create a shot. That's a nice-looking play.
That was quick. They didn't take a whole lot of off of the clock. It took about 4 seconds, and that's going to be the end of the first half of THSLL Class A playoffs. And my goodness, did we have a pace in this first half. And finally, in the second quarter, things started to slow down a little bit. But right now, the Cavaliers are giving the Knights all they can handle.
They as expected, the Cavaliers have a good ball club, a lot of talent, and they've played at the top of the state for a number of years. So big games are they're no stranger to big games at this time of year. I think really the difference in the game, Lake Travis has been able to settle into offense a little bit easier than EHS, and the frenetic play in the middle of the field, failed clears and turnovers and transition goals as a result of that have played a huge factor in this game. Our statistician, Patrick Franklin, unofficially has EHS for 7 failed clears. That's not a good recipe for success. So again, the team that's able to settle down, get the ball cleared, get into offense, be patient, use a little more of that shot clock, and get into their rhythm, gives themselves the best chance here in the second half.
And I love that, man, that you're, the nuanced approach and just breaking it down, Coach. But if you're making any adjustments for the Knights and you're in that locker room and you're Coach Donnelly, what's specific, like that one thing that gets your guys' attention? Because, hey, it's win or go home. You talk about tears of joy, it could be tears of agony.
No doubt. So first, I'm finding creative ways to get Jackson Hearn the ball. And then I'm setting two-man game for him constantly to try to get his hands free. So I'm going to run big small for him behind the cage. That's where you would take a player with a short stick matchup behind the cage for him and pick for him to try to get him free or create switches on your defense. And then that will put pressure on the Lake Travis defense and allow him to either turn the corner and get his hands free to shoot or draw rotation and skip the ball to their shooters. The next adjustment I would make is just try to get my team a little more organized and settled in the clearing game, make sure that my shorts are in the right spots and I can get them the ball in space, and that I'm not looking to do too much with my feet. I'm going to let the ball do the work a little bit and see if we can clear the ball at a little bit higher percentage in the second half. Those would be my top 2 adjustments. In terms of defense, they've played pretty solid defense. They forced Lake Travis into a number of turnovers. The goaltender's playing well. So I think 4 goals is a respectable result for your defense to give up in the first half, but obviously you want to get off the snide and get that ball in the back of the net here in the second half.
Yeah, getting off the snide is going to be very important for the Knights as both teams, as we take a halftime here and come back as play resumes as the THSLL lacrosse tournament rages on throughout the day here in Dripping Springs, Texas. And man, if you have a child that's in one of these games, thank you for tuning in. We will be here all day for the action, and we'll be right back as play resumes here for Game On Sports.
Congratulations, and again, good luck on a great second half.
also like to remind everybody here that we have programs and t-shirts at the front entrance. Go get your programs and t-shirts. Once they run out, they're done. We don't have replacements. Thank you. I'd like to also highlight that in the program today, we have all the rosters for all the teams, as well as the schedules, as well as all the honors. So if you're looking for more info, please stop by. ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to start the second half. Right now, the score is 4-0. Lake Travis leading the Episcopal Knights. Reminder that we do have concessions right next to the main entrance.
I'll trade you black uniforms. How's that work?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's extra hot. Like up here.
Back in action here in Dripping Springs for the THSLL State Tournament, where the Cavaliers from Lake Travis lead Episcopal School of Houston Knights by 4. It's Coach Hayward Lee. Is in the booth.
Well, I think both teams have had a chance to push the reset button and catch their breath, and looking forward to see what adjustments are made here in the second half. As you can see, Coach Donnelly and EHS still going with the short stick matchup at the face-off X, which has yielded good fruit for them so far.
Yeah, Senator Flood is back at the Fogo.
Both teams double polling the wings. So we've got 4 long sticks up here. Both teams conceding that this is going to be a ground ball scrum and signifying the importance by putting their best ground ball poles up on the wings.
Coach Lee, I wish America had saw you with the run from the bathroom back up here and barely breathing, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that.
It's a little bit of a hike up to the press box here.
If had that been myself, I would need a ventilator. They open a window, pour some ice on me. You made it look simple. Don't know what we're looking at here, but they are okay. We got a shot clock issue, as I'm told here in the booth, trying to get it corrected.
Interestingly enough, outside of one possession, shot clock really not a factor in the first half. Both teams trying to get to early offense. In some cases, maybe a little too early and need to exercise a little bit more patience. But only one possession where the shot clock really became a factor in the first half.
That really is a great observation, Coach, because you're right. I mean, you talk about running and gunning. We hadn't had any shot clock violations or anything to speak of so far, and that just speaks to the pace that they've played with this entire first half. And let's see if they settled in, because like you mentioned in the first half, a full-point lead is nothing in lacrosse, so this game is far from over.
When you have the ability to play make it, take it at the face-off X, a 4-goal lead can get erased in a matter of a minute and a half.
As Matthew Stanislaus for the Cavaliers has been putting in the work and earning those extra possessions, but I think Coach Donnelly may have found something at the X with number 14, Senator Flood.
At the very least, he's mucking it up and making it into a ground ball scrum, and that has yielded good fruit for them as they win another possession off the face-off X.
And the Knights are on the move with another clear.
And they're able to get it cleared.
And that's Augie Garcia for the Knights. And, well, that's a big fella down there. And he rolls the big Drew Hafner.
You're not going to move him very easily, are you?
No, you are not, man. And he gets the bouncer that looks kind of like a roly-poly going through the goal. But just like that, the Knights get on the board.
Well, that could not have started any better for Episcopal Houston and Coach Donnelly. Just how he drew it up, I'm sure. But they win possession off the face-off exit. And then, most importantly, they got it cleared the first time with no turnovers. And Lake Travis, who is spread out in pressure, because they're conditioned to creating turnovers, were not in position to help the on-ball defender, and you saw them the unassisted goal.
Another victory at the X for the Cavaliers, and these extra possessions are starting to mount up. It's a really good rear check there by number 66.
That was a nice Call that a little can opener check there to his cross hand side, is able to insert the head of his stick and put the ball on the ground. Almost came up with a turnover, but Lake Travis has it, and they'll get into 6-on-6 offense.
That's Hutch Coward, number 66, with the long pole down there. That's a big man.
Now this zone is very unusual in that how far they will extend pressure and double team the ball.
Get Rogers again, and that's Fabio Garcia with the laser in the hub and score. And Garcia says, anything you can do, I can do better. Medina, comes right back and gets the score.
And that's 3 passes across the perimeter of the defense to get the defense in a rotation, and then the brilliant catch and immediate shot, and just able to beat the goaltender. Great stuff.
Boy, that was a cannon shot in the middle of the field. And man, we talk about the goalie and the pressure that they've been under this entire game, and even with your eyes locked in on a guy with the shot coming off with that kind of velocity, really hard to do anything about it.
Sure, and his back is to you, and the ball has just moved. So when you shoot that quickly out of ball movement, Heckma, the goalie has to reposition his feet, and that's the number one thing you want to do to a goaltender that's playing really well, is try to make him make shots right after he moves his feet. So when the ball swings from wing to wing like that, or from wing to middle, and he's got to reposition his feet and immediately make the save, that's when you have the greatest chance of breaking him down.
If Rogers dancing in the alley, taking his time over here on the near side.
Now Lake Travis playing a little make it, take it.
Rogers in close, and he gets him with the meatball. As Rogers gets another score, and the Cavaliers are rolling.
Yeah, Rogers starting to feel it, and that possession a little bit uncharacteristic of the EHS defense. They've been so quick to double and so effective at their doubling, and I think just not moving their feet and mentally concentrating to the best of their ability there, they let Rogers get right to the heart of the defense and take a shot from the hub. I know they'd like that opportunity back defensively, but we got to credit Rogers with a brilliant play there and a fantastic sidearm finish.
Yeah, Jonah Rogers with the swim move, the Lenore Rhymes commit, doing a wonderful job. You talk about that double team, man. He stepped right between it, split the zone, gets to the middle of the field.
Well, he's a talented and confident player, and obviously they'll have to have an answer. EHS will have to have an answer for him, or he'll continue to do that.
There again, and there's a rear check that dislodges the ball from the head, and that's a turnover. Cavaliers are back on the move, up by 5 with 9:30 here in the third. The THSLL state tournament. Ooh. A little wide left, huh?
He shot that one from downtown Lampasas.
Yes. And the Cavaliers maintain the possession. Morton trying to get back topside, and that ball goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover. Connor Shanley being double teamed. And that's the Cavaliers not allowing any easy clears.
Watch Lake Travis work on the ride there.
And look at that. That's a good job. Kind of runs it right back into a headache, but still the Cavaliers maintain the possession. Blake Morton.
And they're going to draw a push from behind with possession here.
So man-up situation for the Cavaliers.
And I think this is really danger territory if you're EHS. You can sense it's very palpable, the difference in energy between the two teams right now. And riding is a very good proxy for your team's collective energy. And you can see Lake Travis, their feet are moving, they're flying around, they're creating turnovers, creating second chance possessions, and now they're man up. So this will be a very important possession right here.
And the Cavaliers are just unbothered by that beginning of the third quarter goal by Drew Hafner. They come back with an answer. And Fabio Medina with the score, and they've just been pouring it on since, setting up their offense. That's Morton standing in the middle of the field. Gets it back out to Rogers. Rogers, boy, in a situation where he had a guy standing right there on the porch and his head hits the ground first.
He did. That was a really good scoring opportunity, and good job by EHS rotating to him in the nick of time.
It's a great pass attempt.
Both teams all even now.
See, they're bringing the double team of their own. It's the Knights, and they force the turnover.
So Lake Travis not able to convert on that man-up opportunity.
All knotted up as play resumes.
Now they've got
numbers, and that's a shot from Jack Schaefer. It's wide right of the cage.
Unfortunately, he misses the cage, and the Lake Travis goaltender alertly wins the backup.
He has been doing a wonderful job, has number 8.
You can see how comfortable he is with the ball. He's not fazed at all by attackmen pressing in his face.
It's an errant pass, but Cavaliers keep the possession. It's Rogers cross the field with the pass to Morton. In close, and it goes off the top of the bar. My goodness. Morton doesn't miss many like that. I mean,
that was a brilliant catch and then a face dodge to get himself a great look inside, and just unlucky off the post, but that's brilliant stuff. But again, that's Lake Travis trying to capitalize on early offense before the EHS zone can get set up. Clearly something I think Coach Jesuit probably talked to his guys about at halftime is, hey, let's see if we can push numbers early in the possession.
The Cavaliers are running and gunning here in Dripping Springs. As Fabio Medina being harassed on the far side by Brady Ray.
Now again, this is so abnormal for zone defense to press out this far in a zone. This is not your grandfather's zone. This is an aggressive pressure zone that requires some real composure to be able to dissect.
Rogers working from behind the X, trying to get back top side, and he does. It's a shot attempt and a save. Ryan Gatto doing a good job on the save for the Knights. Finally with the clear. Knights working up the field, and that's the
best look Hearn has had all day long.
Oh my goodness, man. You talk about a guy that's playing lights out right now. Julian Garcia is doing a wonderful job.
He's been brilliant.
Unfazed, unbothered by all of the pressure.
In the ball stopping game and the clearing game. A little French pastry. For those of you that have not had your breakfast yet.
I like it. That's a turnover. Knights with the ball, with possession, and easy inside look. We talked about an easy look for Jackson Hearn earlier. I think he doubled back and got an easier one.
Yeah, EHS does a great job there of capitalizing off the quick whistle, and the whistle happens, and it requires so much self-discipline to immediately crash your defense back into the hole, and you can see EHS beat the Lake Travis team into the hub of the defense in one pass, and Hearn finally gets a great look at the cage and is able to convert.
We are back down at the X. Stanislaus been doing a wonderful job for the Cavaliers.
He's been on a hot streak.
Able to scoop it out. Possession. Well, someone's going to want it. And the ground ball is taken. Uh-oh. Up close.
Look what I found.
Yes. Doesn't get any better than that.
But Gatto comes up with a big save. Boy, both goaltenders really playing well.
Trying to keep that possession going, and they do. We're going to say he's out of bounds on this side. Possession's going to go back to the Knights with 4:22 here in the third. Lake Travis 6, Episcopal School of Houston 2. And the Knights getting a little bit of momentum here.
All right, mark this possession down at the 4:20 mark of the third quarter. Coming off a goal, you're down 4. See if they're able to convert and really tighten up the noose here.
Hafner goes down on a knee, able to maintain the possession. Being hassled, but boy, a guy that size, you're not going to be able to move him.
No, they're going to have to slide early to that. See if they run some two-man game action for Hearn here behind. Yeah, here it comes.
Knight with the backup, and here it is to Jackson Hearn, and you marked it, and here we are at 3:50.
So that's one of the adjustments we talked about perhaps Coach Donnelly going to, is running some two-man game action behind the cage to get Hearn's hands free. Right there, they set the pick, and then he refused the pick. Seeing that his defender had started to pre-hedge underneath, he refused the pick, got topside to his right hand, and that's not a place that you want to let Jackson Hearn get to, and obviously he converted from there. If you're Lake Travis, you want to stay on his right shoulder and force him to take that pick, and then get through X, cheat through the crease, and meet him topside. You do not want him to get his right hand topside.
And here we are, Jackson Hearn with 2 quick scores here in the third, 3:48 in the third as the Cavaliers earn another possession. Have some equipment on the carpet. There's a stoppage in play, and Blake Morton brings the ball in inbounds.
All right, big possession here for Lake Travis. Let's see if they can answer.
Blake Morton working on the far side. Medina. Medina and Kalanick playing the two-man game. Back to Rogers behind the X. Rogers met immediately.
Now watch how far 12 will pressure out of the top center position out of the zone. That's really the key, is how far he presses and then gets himself either out of position or creates turnovers.
42 seconds on the shot clock. In tight to spin move.
That's a great recovery by 17 from EHS.
That's Connor Shanley. Shanley coming back up top, and here he is, Rogers in the crease. Gonna get a push call. Possession stays with the Cavaliers, and the shot clock reset.
Shanley may have saved a goal with that approach to the backside. Lake Travis had an opportunity there. He did a great job of forcing his man underneath.
Look at Rogers getting back topside, and that's a roller that goes across the cage. Possession's going to stay with the Cavaliers. Knights staying in that zone look. Nope.
See how quick they are to support the ball. Immediately, here comes the help. 2 steps into the dodge, here comes the help. And great look inside.
Cho comes over with the help, and that's another shot by the Cavaliers. I've seen 2 shots back to back where their head hits the ground first before the shot comes off. Trying to get that low angler. With another clear. Back on offense. Anything to look out for here?
Well, they've got a minute and a half and a full shot clock. So I would expect them to try to have a long possession here, and under no circumstances do you want to give the ball back to Lake Travis with a significant amount of time.
taking their time on offense, but they are 28 seconds on the shot clock.
You can see Hearn was being denied the ball. He did a great job V-cutting, getting out, and now he's going right at his matchup.
That's a great pass inside, and they find their man, and that's Jack Schaefer with the score. And my, 55 seconds here in the third, and we've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, game on, right?
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
So what you have is Hearn being denied the ball. So when he's able to get the ball, there is clearly a sense of panic in the Lake Travis defense, and you can see immediately that they want to support that matchup. And so Hearn doesn't even really get into his dodge before he's forced to slide, and then he's able to find the open man, and just like that, we're at a 6-4 game.
It's the attention to detail that I think that it's really getting the better of the Cavaliers right now, because the Knights and Jackson Hearn, he is performing surgery out here. Once he gets topside and finds his man, he is putting these guys in scoring position. The Knights only down by 2, and all of the momentum going Episcopal School of Houston's way. 30 seconds left here in the third.
I would imagine Lake Travis here will start running offense in about 3 seconds.
Fabio Medina dancing on the near side, and that's a shot that goes across the cage. Morton standing by the end line, bringing the ball in.
8 seconds.
Blake Morton trying to split the double team. He does, and he finds it, and he gets it. What a job by Blake Morton, literally with 3 men around him, and that's his third goal.
Well, threes are wild. 3 men around him and his third goal of the game.
My God.
That brilliant stuff. Right there you saw him carry his man up topside and inside roll. The slide came topside, so what you had from Episcopal is 2 defenders taking the topside away, but nobody staying underneath. And he was able to beat both defenders, get underneath, and finish. So defensively there, you've just got to make sure if you know help is coming and you're a quick double team philosophy, your defenders have to play sides. Great job by Morton to be able to see that, to beat that, and then the creative ability to finish with bodies draped all over him speaks to his talent level.
No, and I love exactly what you were saying right there. Once they got the score from Jackson Hearn down on this end, you wanted to see how the Cavaliers responded, and what a response. They came down, they got multiple shots, and then, you know, Blake Morton, like you just outlined, just does a fabulous job of splitting 2 defenders and getting inside and beating his man-to-man, plus the goalie there. But, man, the momentum has just been – the ebb and flows in this game have been completely crazy here in the second half.
You're right, and I've always felt like a goal in the last few seconds of a quarter is really like a goal and a half, because now you're taking that momentum into your huddle and it's creating energy for your players, or it's deflating energy if you just gave it up. So, you know, those sequences at the end of quarters and halves are extremely impactful. You know, from EHS's standpoint, there's a lot to be encouraged about in the third quarter. Jackson Hearn seems like he has finally become a huge part of this EHS offense. You can see he's had a hand in the last 3 goals for EHS. The last 2 goals have all come from 2-man games. You can see Coach Donnelly's trying to set some picks for him and run some action for him where he can come off of picks and create rotation out of the Lake Travis defense. Lake Travis obviously has found some comfort level attacking the EHS zone, and that last play obviously spoke to the talent level and confidence that Lake Travis seems to have, and specifically Morton, who's having a fabulous game tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, Coach, I think that the Cavaliers are just saying, we're going to come after you. You know, we're gonna burn the boats and we're coming after you. And that's the tempo that they have played with this entire match. You have 12 minutes left to see who wants to play for a state title. Right. And both of these teams, knowing what's on the line right now, have the same 12 minutes to get a victory right now. It's going to take a serious undertaking for the Knights to get a victory, and they are going to have to pour it all in. And their seeding and everything on the line. And you, man, so eloquently put it at the beginning of this game that Lake Travis isn't a 4-7 squad.
No.
You better not look at their record and underestimate this team. And I hope that Episcopal School of Houston haven't underestimated these guys, because they are giving them all they can handle.
They've played with everybody in the state this year. They've played an extremely aggressive schedule, and they've been in every game, and you can see the talent level is very high. One interesting thing to look for, that last goal from Lake Travis, unassisted, dodging the zone, which typically is something that the EHS zone is designed to stop. I think the EHS defenders probably got a little bit of an earful from their coaches at the quarter about being a little more physical and denying the opportunity of the Lake Travis Dodgers to get to the cage. So let's see what happens in this first possession here.
Stanislaus does it again at the X, and he is making a big difference. These faceoffs are starting to take a toll right now on the Knights, and these extra possessions that the Cavaliers are earning at the face-off. And here they are again back on offense as Medina gets a shot, gets a pass across to Blake, and Blake, he is unconscious with that stick. He doesn't care where he's going to shoot it from.
He's comfortable letting it go.
Yes,
Shooters shoot, don't they?
Shooters shoot every time. That is the motto. And here they are again, bringing it in from the inline. Number 5, Nico Tryant. Tryant with the pass out to Morton. Morton not able to secure the pass.
If he could just put himself in a little better position off ball there. His man is sliding right away. If he could step in just a little bit more, he'd be able to create some offense for himself.
That's Hutch Coward with the clear. Trying to get the clear for the Knights. And tell you what, the Cavaliers have been harassing these guys on the clear, not making anything easy.
Yeah, fail clears make it really tough at this point of the game. Every extended possession is like a body punch in a boxing match.
Got players down. Flag on the flag down. Let's see if the goal is any good. Don't have raised hands.
Well, I would love to be a part of that officials huddle right now, because this is an impactful call.
Yeah, taking their time, trying to get it right. Nico Tryant would have the goal. They hadn't made a call yet.
The flag went down. Clearly the foul was on Episcopal because they allowed play to continue. And then Lake Travis with a huge goal right there. And they're going to call that an illegal body check.
The question is, does the goal count? Or was it blown dead?
Well, if the flag was on, if the flag was on Lake Travis, they've got to wipe that goal off.
Okay, and so I believe that's what they have. That's on number 5, Nico Tryant.
So disregard your scoreboard right now.
Okay. So 10:21 here in the fourth. Possession goes to the Knights. Drew Hafner bringing the ball inbounds for the Knights.
Great job by the officials there, taking their time, having a conversation, make sure they get it right. There's a lot on the line there. It's a great piece of officiating by a veteran crew.
Down by 3 scores. Episcopal School of Houston trying to gather themselves and get their offense going. Another stoppage in play. I think we're having a problem with the clock. Going from 9:56 to 10:02.
Both teams' man downs have really played well today. We have not seen a single goal on man up today. That's our statistician, Patrick Franklin, on top of everything.
And the Knights have had a situation where they had 2. The 2 men
2 men up.
Yeah, 2 men up.
2 men up, and probably settle for something that maybe they would have liked back.
As we get things all worked out here in Dripping Springs for the THSLL state tournament. Trying to get the time taken care of. It's probably a much needed rest for both of these squads.
Absolutely.
The pace that they've been playing with. You saw a little bit of it starting to take hold there in the third for Lake Travis as they gathered themselves. And you mentioned earlier just how you go deep into your bench, especially on a day like this where the humidity is above 70 and you know it's affecting everybody.
No doubt. Oh, great look at the cage and a brilliant save.
Look at that, and they are back in transition and on the run. You talk about them not taking any time off of the shot clock. And here they are with Blake Morton down here on the near side with 9:44 in the fourth.
Well, I think EHS got a great look, probably the look they wanted, and just credit outstanding goalkeeping on the part of Lake Travis to deny that.
Look at them bringing that defense far out on the perimeter. Fabio Medina getting the ball back behind X2 Rogers. Rogers kicking it back out to Morton. They got big number 66, Hutch Coward, standing right there at the crease. Talk about impeding your view.
I think he's seen a weight room before.
Yeah. That's a shot attempt by Medina that goes across the cage. Possession will stay with the Cavaliers with 9 minutes in the fourth. Time is becoming important.
Shot clock not operational, so the officials will be keeping that on the field.
An errant pass to Rogers, and that's going to be a turnover, forced error. Connor Shanley brings it inbounds for the Knights. It's a different look for the Cavaliers, allowing the easy clear.
And you can see it as fatigue sets in deeper into this game. The energy in the riding game goes down.
Right there, you're just trying to hold on to Hafner as Kolinek recognizes that he has the bigger man on him and just does the best he can on the ride. But that's a possession that's going to go back to the Cavaliers.
Force a turnover. I can't credit these short stick defenders from Lake Travis enough. They do a great job. Playing midfield defense is one of the hardest things to do in lacrosse, and Lake Travis has a couple of good ones.
It's a good pass from Jace White to Luke Elder. Getting the clear, and Cavaliers back in business on offense. Trying to get a push down there. That's an easy call. Man, that size pushing the back. Boy, I almost pushed you into the...
I was just about to say, when you're that size, you don't have to do a whole lot to earn a push in the back call.
My goodness. Almost pushed Nico trying underneath the 30-yard marker. Rogers trying to get back top side, and they are aware of his athletic ability. You
Sure
see
are.
that double team.
Quick double coming.
Absolutely. They are not wasting any time.
And again, we cannot see the shot clock on the field, but the officials will be keeping it, and we are definitely getting deeper into the shot clock here for Lake Travis.
Yes, and that's just, we're under 7 minutes to play here in Dripping Springs. And the Cavaliers taking the time on offense, setting it up, looking for a good shot. It's Morton met by a few Knights.
Yeah, I really like that methodology right there to attack the zone. It was an alley dodge. You force the adjacent double team, you move through X, and then because the pole at the top center spot is so quick to double, the skip up to the top center offensive player is wide open.
Get Rogers, he's coming back and he recognizes the open that he has,
right
but
there.
He passes out. Not able to secure the ball.
That's a great save by Gatto. Great ground ball and a lead for his goaltender.
Gatto trying to get the ball out immediately, and he does. Gets it to number 17, Connor Shanley.
Terrific clear by Shanley, who had to negotiate a double team as his adjacent midfielder ran off the field. So terrific job by Shanley to get it cleared.
Here we are with numbers for the Knights. They look like they had an advantage.
I think EHS might benefit from a timeout here. They seem a little scattered.
There's Brady Ray. Ray working from behind X. Working in the middle is number 99, Hafner, who already has a score today, and that's a bouncer. Goes out of bounds, and that's Connor Bennett, able to back up and keep the possession.
All right, I expect some two-man game action here.
That's Jackson Hearn trying to get back topside, and look at the double, and that was a great feed and score by Will Lewis. What a pass by Jackson Hearn.
Yeah, great job by Hearn. That time they actually ran single action for him and did not bring a off-ball pick or on-ball pick, but Hearn doing a great job of left to right splitting his defender, and then the off-ball cut because he draws a double team immediately. And once again, guess who's involved in an EHS scoring play?
There he is, Jackson Hearn, doing everything he possibly can. And you think about that wave off from earlier, and I believe it was the player number 5 for the Cavaliers, Nico Tryon, from the goal that was called off earlier, would have given them a 3-goal advantage. Now only up by 2 with 5:24 left in this match. The air starting to get a little thin for the Cavaliers.
Lots of lacrosse left. EHS with a shot clock, they can continue to stay in their zone, but I think you will find them very aggressive to look to double team out of it.
And to our disadvantage, we don't have the perspective of the shot clock. As the Cavaliers are setting up their offense.
Yeah, 1-4-1 zone offense from the Cavaliers.
And they are committed to the zone, have come out of it once. And we marked it in the second, where they went man for half a second.
That's about it. They'll stay in this in the same way that the University of Syracuse basketball team will stay in Jimmy Boeheim's 2-3 zone. This is their identity. They believe in it. They work in it all the time, and they're excellent at it.
With Rogers getting the ball back up top side, and look at that. Oh, right there. Rogers able to keep it and score.
That's a brilliant toe drag just wide of the cage, and then a great pickup by Rogers at X, and a beautiful assist there. The flag will be waved off because that was a push with possession, but the goal will stand. And with 4:26, we've got a 3-goal game.
That's a good job by Jagger Davis, because Davis is standing like he is tiptoeing that crease and is able to get the pass and the score. And how about a shot that looks like it's going out of bounds? And there's Rogers, like Mr. Johnny on the spot, and able to create the feed inside for the score. And now Cavaliers are up by 3 with 4:26 to go in this match.
Yeah, he's got a great pair of hands, doesn't he?
Boy, he does.
Pick that right off the carpet, and then to match it, a great pair of eyes to find his teammate inside.
And it just looked like it was routine. It was going out of bounds, and we were going to bring it in from the end line, but Roger said, nope, I'm standing right here, and I can get this thing back in. And boy, that looked like a push, not called.
And the catch and finish of the highest quality, too. It's not easy to make that catch, tight rub the crease, and know that somebody is coming to take your helmet off of your head from behind. So a nice piece of skill there.
Jagger Davis standing in the line of fire, getting that feed and creating the points for his team.
And then we've got a push from behind on the face-off ground ball for EHS. So Lake Travis will get to follow that goal with another possession here. And I think you will look to see them try to start bleeding time out of this 80-second shot clock. Or maybe Rogers will go right to the cage.
I was about to say, they're not paying attention to anything you just said, because here comes 12.
As I watch Coach DeJoe pacing the sideline.
Recognizing that he is right there. This lead holds up with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in this match. Lake Travis, a 4-7 squad, could potentially put themselves into a state title.
That's a great timeout by Coach Donnelly right there. They got the ball cleared. He's got his long stick under pressure with a double team. Time to call timeout, secure possession, draw something out, settle your kids down. There's plenty of time, 3:35, an eternity of time left. And let's get your team into good offense. I got 3 guesses for you. Who's going to touch this ball out of the timeout?
Let's start with number 1.
Don't even need the other 2.
Let's start with number 1. And he has been the facilitator for this offense. And, surprisingly, here in the 4th, that he hadn't had more of those opportunities. And that just speaks to the job that the Cavaliers have been doing defensively, not allowing any easy clears. I think you gave a stat earlier about how many of those clears they were not allowing, and just kind of keeping the Knights on their heels this entire game. But right now, with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left, you find the Knights in a situation where they have got to get some attempts on goal up early. They can't just sit back in their offense. They have to rush now.
Sure, but you don't need to panic and take something bad. The ability to win faceoffs and play make it take it allows you to run your offense, try to get something within. I would say their framework needs to be about 30 seconds. The key question for me is, will Hearn start with the ball, or will they run some action for him to get it? Because if I'm Lake Travis, I think Coach DeJoe talking to his guys about possibly denying him the ball. So if he's going to be denied the ball, or shut off, as we say in lacrosse, then Coach Donnelly may want to have him start with the ball, which, as I watch him walking over to the official, I think we've got the answer to that question.
Yeah, you put the ball in your playmaker's hands, and that is a coach's cliche, but it is a truism here in Dripping Springs, as Jackson Hearn is going to bring this ball inbounds.
And now we see Elder coming over to match up with him, and this is what we want to see. This is best on best.
Luke Elder, the long pole specialist, over on Jackson Hearn. 3:35 here in the 4th.
Now I do expect to see some sort of 2-man game action for EHS.
Trying to meet him back topside, and they do. He could tell immediately. Jackson sees it.
He drew a flag.
Oh, man, up advantage, and that one goes right over the head, and they get the score as Jackson Hearns is just looking.
That's another Jackson Hearn to Will Lewis goal. Hearn is just so quick behind the cage. A couple of changes of direction. He draws the flag, and then there's Lewis sneaking to the honey hole right off the crease, and those two seem to have a beautiful connection to each other. And just like that, we've got a 2-goal game.
Yeah, you said you'd go at 30. They went at 20. So obviously they did not take long to get that score up, and you were right. It's Jackson Hearn again facilitating for his team and creating those points.
Now Lake Travis having to serve a penalty there, so EHS is man up on this face-off. So as you can see, if those of you watching at home can see the 3-on-2 advantage at the face-off X.
Trying to get that ground ball. It goes out of bounds. Possession. Whoa, possession's going to be with the Knights.
They're not able to clear it cleanly. What a tremendous ground ball.
They are running into each other. Here we are with 2:44. The Knights with the possession. Ability to come to within one, and that's a pass that's going to go out of bounds. Coach Donnelly has got to be stomping his feet at that one because, boy, he needed that possession.
That's unfortunate. They did have numbers. I like the look backside. They certainly had something that could have availed itself there. Unfortunately, just not able to quite connect on the skill piece.
It's Julian Garcia coming out of his cage. Getting pass across the middle, 2:23 in the fourth.
And now you're going to see EHS extend their pressure here.
2-goal lead. You got Blake Morton dancing in the alley, being pushed from behind X by number 66. Oh, that's another shot attempt by Morton.
Wow. He just erased 3 defenders from EHS. He rolled, got topside at one, beat the other with his feet, and then hitched and toe dragged the third one.
What a superior athlete. Blake Morton. And there it is again, and the score by Fabio Medina with a little flex.
Yeah, Medina there from the natural righty wing spot is just able to get topside on his man and bury a bounce shot in the lower left-hand corner.
Love that energy by Medina. He wasted no time. As soon as he received that pass, he was on the move. And just like that, the Cavaliers extend their lead to 3. With 1:47 seconds left here in the fourth, and the Lake Travis Cavaliers can taste it.
You can sense the energy both from the crowd and from the Lake Travis sideline.
Before this game started, I was sitting out kind of in the outside of the waiting area there, and just, boy, you could tell when Lake Travis pulled up, man, they were relaxed. These guys didn't have a far drive to come to get here, but they were relaxed, man, playing their music loud, and they didn't have any of the jitters that you would expect for a team coming into a game like this to have. And I think you've seen it through their play today. Oh, he was on the line, and they're going to call him out of bounds, and that's going to be a possession that's going to stay with the Knights.
Well, again, they played a very difficult schedule to start the season, and I'm sure they learned their lessons from that, and they clearly have found a good formula for their team, and they've gotten better and better as the season has gone on, and you can certainly see that on the field today.
Now, we still have 1:14 seconds left. 3 goals behind are the Knights, and seemingly you would think that any hope of getting a victory here, or at least tying it up, would take a minor miracle.
Well, they're certainly going to, obviously they're going to have to play fast. And I think in the huddle right now, you don't talk to your kids about getting 3 goals, you talk to your kids about getting 1 goal. And then you got to do that 3 times. So let's start with this possession, and no secret, number 1's going to start with the ball, and they'll run some action for him and try to create cutters again off ball and see if they can find the back of the net, and then they're going to have to make some adjustments at the face-off X and see if they can get it again.
Just wait for both of the teams to take the field. 1:14 left here in the fourth. Lake Travis seemingly on the berth of qualifying for a state title matchup.
And of course, if you're Lake Travis, your first adjustment is who's going to pick up the ball. If Hearn picks it up, then you probably want Luke Elder covering him, and if he does not pick up the ball, which looks to be the case here, I wouldn't be surprised if they denied him the ball and try to make somebody else beat them and create offense.
Talk about the unsung heroes of Luke Elder and the job that he's done here today defensively, and the goalie. Can't say enough about Julian Garcia and the job that he's done today. They bring the ball inbounds.
two-man game action. Lake Travis just switched it.
Colin Bennett trying to get work back topside, and what a great rear check right as he was getting ready for the shot.
Yeah, Bennett got underneath and had beat his defender, but just hung his stick topside over his shoulder, and a nice check there to dispossess him.
Hafner on the move. 50 seconds left on the shot clock.
That's tremendous short stick defense.
That's a shot attempt. Knights.
That's a really good defense by Garrett Maddox, the short stick defender by Lake Travis.
Yeah, Garrett Maddox just standing his ground.
Oh, brilliant. Left-handed sidearm shot.
Yeah, that's Brady Ray. Brady Ray with the laser with 32 seconds left in this match.
Well, the ball behind the cage forced a collapse of the Lake Travis defense, and Brady Ray was able to find an open spot up there and got his strong left hand to the middle of the field. And you can see when he's got time and room, he can put the ball in the back of the net.
Back down Effie Etch.
Boy, this face-off enormous.
And there he is again. Boy, he has been so good. Matthew Stanislaus. There's Rogers getting it out, and that's 16 seconds.
And we have him unofficially for 11 face-off wins today, and none possibly greater than that last one.
Exactly. And just a wonderful job and performance here today, and that is it. Here in Dripping Springs, the Lake Travis Cavaliers, seemingly the underdogs, come in and get the upset. And a wonderful job by the Cavaliers in getting this victory over the Knights. And I'll leave the last word to you, Coach Lee.
Well, I thought this was a very well-played game by both teams. You can see both teams expended a lot of energy and emotion on the field. Ultimately, I think it came down to face-off play, to clearing, and opportune offensive execution. Lake Travis just a little bit better in those areas than EHS, but a very well-played game by two well-coached teams. And our day here at beautiful Dripping Springs, Texas is off to a great start. And the great news is this is just the beginning.
Oh, this is just the beginning. We're just getting started. So if you are a lover of lacrosse, you have tuned in at the right time for the THSLL tournament here on Game On Sports as we clear the field for the next game. We're going to step aside here, and we'll be right back as the next game resumes.
No, he jumped. I'm like, I can't jump. Get away from me.
So we switched gears and he's going to go work in Cambodia. So we'll see how
So much easier to meet people.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Good dub though. I don't know how far you want to go with your knee.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
What do you say, 14?
Middle School. The semi-final double A game between the number one Dallas Jesuit and number 4 St. Mark's. We'll be starting in about 9 minutes to make sure everybody's warm-ups. I'd like to remind everybody, for those of you who are just coming in, we do have programs and shirts at the main concession at the main entrance. Make sure you get your shirts and your programs early because once we run out, we're out. Also, with all the team, make sure you hydrate. We have ice cold beverages at the concession stand. Also near the main entrance, we all came in.
What's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Oh yeah. How you doing? Hey, man, how's it going? Good to see you.
We ask everybody here to consider the time and effort for each of these teams, coaches, officials, and athletes and so forth. Regardless of the outcome of today's game, all the players have proven their willingness to work hard and sacrifice to achieve their athletic excellence. In the tradition of sportsmanship and fair play, we expect that all spectators, coaches, officials, and players will honor the game by supporting all participants' positive thoughts, actions, and words. As you support your team today, show respect and courtesy for all the spectators, players, coaches, and officials before, during, and after the game, regardless of the outcome. Good luck to both teams, and this is the final matchup today. Dripping Springs Lacrosse would also like to thank our sponsors for which our program would not be able to survive without. Our main sponsors are Carroll Religion Aware, industry leader custom one-of-a-kind leather jackets, outerwear accessories, focus on quality, customer service, and innovative products. And our Light Laws Company. Chris Rickle with Keller Williams. Less house hunting, more house finding. Looking for that dream home? Contact Chris. Sunset Canyon Veterinary Clinic. Sunset Canyon Veterinary Clinic's mission is to provide clients the best value veterinary services and ensure patients receive the highest level of comfort care. They offer a multi-factor veterinary hospital. Mika under the Adobe property group encompasses home custom concierge. Let us pay for your home upgrades to get you the maximum returns on your investment. Calaterra. Celebrate your views with an environment that's relaxing, enchanting, and altogether inspiring. Check out Calaterra today. Cat Group. Looking to buy or sell a home? Contact Bill or Jacob with the Cat Group. Premier Dance Center. Premier Dance Center provides superior dance education in a fun, family-oriented environment. River City Off-Road. Your one-stop shop for all of your off-road needs. H2OTU. Dripping Springs family-owned H2OTU will handle your bulk water delivery needs. As the teams will line up on the sidelines to get ready for the national anthem.
Because they won't let you in the gate. You like to pay to get in? Yeah, you'll see my patrol car. Just come right there by the front gate. I'll work with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to rise and focus on the flag at the center of the field for the singing of our national anthem.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dripping Springs, Texas for the THSLL State Tournament. And if you love lacrosse, boy, do we have a matchup for you that is about to happen right now in some Class AA lacrosse, where the #1 seed, Jesuit Rangers, take on the Lions from St. Mark's. I'm back with you. I'm Heckman Harrison, Game On Sports, and surrounded by my usual suspects, Coach Hayward Lee. And now we got Brian Montgomery in the booth. So we got a three-man booth. It's a little packed in here, but hey, we're going to make this thing work. Guys, how you doing? I just got finished talking with you for about 2 hours. I think I'll swing this over to Brian Montgomery. Brian, how are you?
Doing all right, guys. I really hope I'm trying my best not to bring down the quality of the booth after you guys did such a great job with that first call. Looking forward to a great game, though. Two programs with a great deal of history, a lot of accomplishment. Looking forward to seeing what this one has to offer.
And, Coach, I got to ask you this. Now, when you have this level of lacrosse play that is on the field right now, what is your expectation? Obviously, stylistically, scheme-wise, for both of these squads.
Yeah, this is going to be a dogfight. These two teams have had a great competitive relationship for years. The talent level is through the roof. The skill level, exceptional. The level of coaching, outstanding. And I think we can all just strap ourselves into our seats and enjoy a wonderful 2.5 hours of lacrosse.
And that's exactly what this is going to be. I'm glad that you outlined this, is that these are two teams that are very familiar with one another. And they get an opportunity to match up here in Dripping Springs to see who's going to get a berth to go to a state title, as both teams are goalies go to their cages.
And we're going to get our first window into what I would consider the biggest key to this game, and that is control of the face-off X. Both face-off guys, Will Reading for Jesuit and Alex Ginn for St. Mark's, have enjoyed dominance all season long. Who controls the X gives their team a huge advantage, and first battle goes to Jesuit.
Yeah, and definitely have seen Reading before at the X versus Highland Park this year, and you are absolutely correct, man. He is a guy that will dominate at the face-off, as the Rangers take the possession to get things started here in Dripping Springs for the Class 2A.
Now, Jesuit typically tends to initiate and run their offense out of the midfield. They've got an outstanding stable of midfielders. You see Charlie Metz right now, number 11, with the ball, and that's where they'll start. Brilliant little off-ball action there. You see a pick and seal on the crease, and You see number 14, Mac Hobbs, take the first shot of the game off the pick, off ball.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see early on what St. Mark's is giving the Rangers defensively, because Mac Hobbs, Beckett Foley are two sharpshooters who are really sensational from inside of 15 yards. Anywhere around that area, they're big-time danger. So it'll be interesting to see what defensive looks they get and where they have net looks early on in this one.
And Beckett Foley working from behind the X for the Rangers, gets the ball back up top. Rangers with the gold helmets, white jerseys, and blue pants. St. Mark's with the yellow jerseys, blue bottom, with white numbers. And getting the ball moving, getting out to the far side.
Well, now Hobbs finds himself off of a switch in a short stick matchup, but they don't have enough time on the shot clock, so he's got to pitch it off the end line. And St. Mark's wins that first defensive possession by virtue of their switching, their sliding, and their patience, but unfortunately throw the first clear away.
And as we've seen from the first game, that the nerves are a little high right now. And so with this game coming at 12 o'clock, another thing to take note of is the heat. Expecting a around 97, 98 degree day today at Dripping Springs, and the humidity is what is really the booger here at Dripping Springs. It is hot.
And you can see right there, Metz now getting down the left-hand alley, and St. Mark's does not slide to him at all with a short stick matchup. I think they'd like that one back as he almost tagged the far pipe. Yeah,
Metz is a guy you're definitely going to have to get someone out on if you are the Lions. The Rangers setting up their offense again, beginning of this first quarter with 10-10.
Yeah, 2-2-2 action, very standard for Jesuit. And it's a great skip look all the way across the field, just tipped out of bounds by the St. Mark's defender.
Yeah, and this is big here for Jesuit. Second possession of the game, and the defense yet to really have to put any pressure on there against the Lions. I think that's what the Rangers want to see, is they want to control the pace of this game. They want to utilize the full shot clock, get the best shot possible, and try to make sure each one of those possessions count.
And definitely utilizing the shot clock with 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Rangers with the possession, under 10 seconds now on the shot clock. They have to hurry up to not, well, no, they reset it, excuse me.
We saw number 12 there, Beckett Foley, with the ball in his cross. He's one of those players who has really emerged for Jesuit as a massive offensive threat, really complementing Mac Hobbs well. And those two have really been the twin-headed dragon for Jesuit throughout the season from a goal-scoring perspective.
And you see right there, Metz running in the alley, losing his footing, and the Lions take possession.
And this is Ian Mize, St. Mark's two-time All-American.
And the Lions are coming out shooting, not wasting any time, taking right at about 8 seconds off of the shot clock to get that shot up.
And that was Henry Picagli, who scored 5 goals in the quarterfinal last Saturday against Southlake, getting his hands free for the first shot of the game for the Lions.
And I like that aggressiveness by the Lions, just coming down in transition, not letting that really vaunted, disciplined Jesuit defense get set. Make sure that the Rangers are working back on their heels, especially because you have someone in the goal at the stature and experience of Connor Knight, who has just had a phenomenal season. I believe in the same vein, a chance to become a two-time All-American in a few weeks, definitely recognizing what he's been able to accomplish, and you want to move in transition on him. If his feet are set, there's a good chance he can stop you from 10 yards out.
And what a save on the inside by number 1.
That's Ian Williams, the St. Mark's goaltender, with the brilliant first save of the game.
And you know what? Coach Hayward Lee, you talk about St. Mark's so glowingly, and that's for a reason. Would you please explain to the viewing audience why that is?
Well, I've had the benefit of being the head coach there for the last 18 years, and I've got relationships with these kids going back to their lower school days, having put sticks in their hands and coaching them. So obviously we all coach because of our love of kids, and those relationships we treasure. So I think very fondly when I see a lot of those smiling faces.
This is an impartial booth, and Coach Lee is going to do his best
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
No doubt.
I also have tremendous respect for the Jesuit program and have known Chris Saran for years. We've had the privilege of coaching with him and against him, and nobody does it better, so this should be a wonderful game.
And you see immediately Jake Park coming out in the alley, and that's going to be a turnover as the Rangers take over here with 7 minutes in the first, and 0-0 so far in this matchup.
So St. Mark's initially trying to attack with big, small action behind the cage. However, they've just not been able to connect on. They're certainly drawing rotation out of the Jesuit defense, but have not been able to connect to get the ball upstairs to get the open shot. So expect them to continue in that regard. And one thing that, Brian, that's very curious to me, in the pre-shot clock era, Jesuit was known for its patience offensively. Now, the shot clock has had to change some of that, but you can still see the hallmarks of patience and discipline in their offense, which is great to see.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, frankly, is due to respect for your opponent, and not being able to give up transition opportunities to a team such as the quality of St. Mark's as the timeout is going to be called here by Jesuit. I mean, you have an 80-second shot clock, and Coach Saran likes to work in 25-second sets, and so he's passing around, kind of waiting to see where the slides are, seeing if he can pick up exactly where to exploit and have his guys go in, set up screens. But yeah, I think especially in the postseason, you see a lot of games under 10 goals for Jesuit, and that's not an abnormal thing to see from them. They're very patient, very methodical with their offense, and as long as the guys have confidence in what they're running, normally it comes out with some goals. But as we mentioned, St. Mark's playing some outstanding defense out of the gate.
In the pre-shot clock era, they were known to have 2.5, 3-minute possessions and just completely grind you defensively because they were so patient. The shot clock obviously has leveled that field a little bit, but as you can see, Jesuit, a sign of a very well-coached team. They know exactly what they want to get offensively. They're not going to settle for frivolous shots or shots out of their green zone, and Coach Saran calling an early timeout here just to settle his guys down and to make sure that they're getting what they want here in this 0-0 game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a big thing coming out of this timeout is just remind the guys, it's always so weird when you travel and then you are at a new spot. It's kind of like you have to reset your mind from travel mode to game mode. And I think the first few minutes, we've kind of seen from both teams that feeling out process, but a lot of lacrosse back and forth where you've seen the teams not do something that they've normally accustomed to. And I think for Coach Saran, this was a moment, hey, let's slow down, let's wait, let's see what we get coming out of the timeout, but more importantly, remember the stuff, remember what we have set up for this game and see if they can make it pay off.
Wouldn't be surprised if Jesuit runs a set piece out of the timeout. They've been looking inside quite a bit. They've got Charlie Schmidt, who's drawn the pole matchup inside right now. I expect to see some action out of their 2-2-2 right here.
I've got an opportunity to see Jesuit, and I'm telling you, this is, even with the shot clock, this is a team that can play any speed you want. So if you can do death by 1,000 cuts if you like, or they can just do it all at once.
And right there, that's the shot we're talking about from Beckett Foley. Hands-free, especially early on. He loves that little left wing open hands-free shot going from low to high. That's been his specialty throughout the season. Against Austin, after about 2 or 3 shots, he sighted it out to a point where he knew he could sneak it in near side post. And so interesting to see what he looks at.
And St. Mark's had to slide adjacent there and had to leave him open in the left-hand ham sandwich spot. And that's not a place where you want to see him take a lot of shots if you're St. Mark's.
And you see Nate Duncan getting the offense started, getting the pass back out to number 12, Beckett Foley, who we just were talking about with the earlier shot attempt on goal. Jesuit going quick. Did a wonderful job of bringing those defenders out to find a.
That's a really disciplined offense there. One thing that Jesuit looks to see if you leak at all adjacent from the adjacent defender, and their sticks are so good, they're going to tic-tac-toe the ball around the perimeter and create an open shot as they did right there for number 12, Beckett Foley, who launched that one from Lampasses.
Yeah, Lampasses is where that went from. And the guy has no consciousness about that shot at all. He's going to take it every time. As finally, the Rangers draw first blood as Charlie Metz with the roller and a score for the Rangers with 5:06 here in the first quarter.
He just picked that ball up in the corner off the restart and one thing St. Mark's has elected to do is play Charlie Schmidt with a pole and play Charlie Metz with a short stick. And Metz saw the matchup that he liked and went right at it, and no help from St. Mark's as he got underneath and dunked it. I would expect Coach Jason Leno and his staff to make an adjustment there and either change the matchup or slide early to him, or Metz may pose some problems for the Lions today.
And Reading dominating at the X's. He gets his shot off, and he calls his own number and scrapes the ground as he does it. And just like that, 2 scores back-to-back for the Rangers.
2 faceoffs, 2 wins for Reading, and that one he won 2 himself. And then he's not a small young man.
No,
he's going to get to where he wants on the field.
And we've seen that all season from Will. When he gets a clean face-off win and he has that forward momentum, I mean, freight train coming, he may as well clear the tracks. And he just really uses his physical prowess to get himself clean. And that may be the first time I've seen him not score a drop shot, a bouncer all season. And I think that's really a big thing for him, is his ability to be one of those 2-threat face-off guys. Hey, I can win the face-offs, but I can also go in if I see what I like to see and put the ball in the back of the net.
Now, Coach Lee, St. Mark's down by 2 scores here early. What's the mind state now? Obviously, you got a long way to go. They're not out of it by a long shot, but trying to steal some of this momentum that they lost.
Well, you've only had 1 offensive possession, so it's time to just settle down and run offense. Let's figure out who can win their matchup and where you need to attack from. Here St. Mark's is running an open set. We call this Princeton. Little 2-man game action, and there's Henry Boykin, who's coming left-handed off the pick to the middle of the field, and he gets St. Mark's on the board.
Yeah, and Henry Boykin making no excuses. He's dancing in the alley, getting to the middle, and he shoots that shot from a lefty and gets the score. And just like that, with 4:13 in the first, St. Mark's is within 1.
That's a little pairs offensive set, so you see a left-handed pair and a right-handed pair at the top of the field, and two pinch guys at the goal line extended, and there Henry's able to get topside on his man, and no help from Jesuit, and Henry's a guy that can light up the scoreboard, and you can see he's off to a good start today.
Some great north-south speed as well, coming in and having that open space on the lane. You could tell that the Ranger Cole was a little bit late to catch up to him, just simply due to how fast he is heading vertical, and that was a nice offensive break from the line.
And a terrific save there by Ian Williams on the low-angle shot, and the Lions will have an opportunity to clear here.
Yeah, Will Reading with another victory at the X, and may not mean anything right now, but those things start to add up over time as the Lions go back on the attack, and that's for the loose ball scrum.
Yeah, Charlie Schmidt with the fantastic stick check and follows it up, but draws the penalty off I believe will be a push call.
Now the Lions have a free play here. So one of my pet peeves as a coach is when you have a flag down situation and you have the ball, the shot has got to get on cage. You get nothing out of a shot that misses the cage. Make the goalie make a save.
Trying to get back inside. There's a line getting it back out as they've reset their offense, knowing that this ball is going to be blown dead as soon as the shot attempt or goal is in. They will have the advantage.
And here's Mize behind the cage, St. Mark's All-American, who finds Jake Park with a brilliant face dodge and finish. And just like that, we're knotted at 2.
And that was the question that I asked, and you said it. Man, they just need to calm down and get in this game. But Jake Park, what a move. Getting inside for number 22.
Well, you can see how much respect that Coach Saran and the Jesuit team have for Mize when he's operating behind the cage. There are 5 other gold helmets turned, paying close attention to him and their help side responsibilities for him. And that allows Jake Park to find a nice little corner of space. And then Jake is a highly skilled player who's headed to Air Force. He's a junior who's headed to Air Force in a year's time. And Jake is able to find the back of the net.
And really right there, just a very nice, as we keep saying, it's just patience right now for St. Mark's. That was a very well thought out, executed movement to get some open and get a hands-free shot at the net.
Will Reading calls his number again, and another bouncer for number 21, winning at the X and scoring. What a weapon he is.
Yeah, that's his 4th out of 5 face-off victories and his 2nd goal. I would say that he is had a tremendous impact on this game, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
I mean, in the Austin game, I think he picked up around, I want to say 23 or 24, about 20 face-off wins. But the shooting is a new development here. He's having a phenomenal day in that regard.
And he just kick-started another fast break that, unfortunately for Jesuit, the ball went right off the pipe. I'm surprised that St. Mark's has not adjusted the position of their draw side pole to take away Reading's fast break. I would imagine Coach Leno will do that at the quarter because he's been responsible for 2 of Jesuit's 3 goals.
Right now setting up on the far side are the Rangers. Getting in close, and that's a shot attempt by Beckett Foley that's wide left of the cage.
He might need some ice on that left elbow after all the shots he's taken today. But hey, shooters shoot, and he is a weapon.
Working his way back top side is McAllister Hobbs, the Penn State commit. We're all tied up here with 1:41 in the first quarter. And the Rangers, as you pointed out, Brian, being very patient on offense. And as I say, patient who? Patient what? Patient this goal.
Well, St. Mark's is sliding adjacent right now, so they're sliding from the next man over. And that's creating some problems for them defensively because as Jesuit moves the ball, as you can see, the shape of the St. Mark's defense gets tighter and tighter. And so in that situation, Jesuit's able to initiate their dodge only 7 or 8 yards from the goal. So you're not even really required to beat your man because you're already in scoring range from the moment that you catch the ball and initiate your dodge. St. Mark's is going to have to extend pressure and force the Jesuit kids to initiate their dodge from further out from the goal.
And this is a battle absolutely at the X between these 2 fantastic face-off specialists.
And Will Reading does it again, man. This kid has got to have some strong forearms. And boy, what a pass inside to Beckett Foley for the score. As I was trying to give Grayson Kissick some credit, number 44, for the earlier goal. And man, these guys are scoring in bunches. With 1:13 here in the first, the Jesuit Rangers 5. St. Mark's 2.
Wow, that was special. Kick-starting the fast break to the point man. You can see Jesuit so well coached and disciplined about how they set up their L break, and then the point man with the alertness of mind to immediately look diagonally to his lefty pinch guy, and that's just beautiful execution. And of course, I haven't even talked about the outstanding catch and finish. So that's textbook stuff. That's as good a lacrosse as you'll see anywhere in America.
And the big thing right now is you look at the components that really created that play. Will Reading at the face-off X, really battling it out in order to even get the clearance on the ball. Passes it to Charles Moran, who has been a part of this program during all 4 years at Jesuit, and he has really broken out as essentially the equivalency of a point guard for the team. And he has a phenomenal feed to Foley, who just is an athlete. And he's able to get himself in a position where he can do a quick shot towards the cage. And I mean, that right there, that's experience along with athleticism and talent all rolling into just simply a sensational play.
And Coach Lee, look, I'm going to lean on you heavily for adjustments, and here we are, right at the end of the quarter. And I heard you say before, if you can get a score at the end of the quarter, it counts like 1.5 points. And so if you're St. Mark's, you've got to have your mind wrapped around that concept because you need to steal some momentum right now.
Absolutely, that's a great point. I think first adjustment is I've got to have my draw side pole drop to the defensive end to take away the fast break. Clearly, St. Mark's cannot let Reading come down the field right between the hashes, but they also can't slide early to him from the point guy. So you've got to drop that pole into the point guy so that he can't hit the point guy, and you have help to Reading if he's coming down on the fast break.
I mean, the situation you just outlined, you're dang if you do, dang if you don't in a situation with Will Reading winning at the X, because how do you adjust to that?
Well, you can see that St. Mark's has made that adjustment now. You can see Connor Duffy there right at the 40-yard line. He's going to take that away, and this time Gang wins the ball on a clean rake out first. So I think he's struggling to the clamp against Reading because Reading is so big. He's controlling the airspace above the ball. However, if Gang can get his hands moving quickly and get the ball raked out quickly first, advantage Gang. So what a great game within a game between those two stud face-off guys.
And that's the big thing I heard going into the week when I was speaking with some of the Jesuit lacrosse coaching staff was the fact that both Reading and Gang are both clamp guys. And so to see that, it's speed against brute strength with Reading and what he's able to do. And as you mentioned, I'm happy we're getting the close-up here on the stream. It's because anybody that wants to watch good lacrosse, just watch that face-off battle.
And there it is.
That's Nate Duncan, who was able to go right through the St. Mark's defense. And
I believe it was Charlie Schmidt.
Excuse me, Charlie Schmidt. The 8 and the 0 kind of blend together.
Yeah, Charlie Schmidt, the midi, getting the goal inside with 29 seconds here in the first. And I tell you what, the Rangers, the #1 seed, have put their foot on the gas pedal and running away here in the first quarter. And Will Reading does it again. Look at the forearms on that kid, man. He is strong. He's obviously had a summer jobs at Brahms scooping ice cream because he does it at the X.
And he'll be able to take his talents out into the NUMAC as he's heading to Babson College in the fall. And so excited to see an outstanding student athlete, but also an outstanding student as well over at Jesuit, doing a phenomenal job with Jesuit's tough curriculum.
That's great to hear. At that time, St. Mark's was able to take away the break by the positioning of their wings, and then Jesuit with the turnover, and now St. Mark's with the possession.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter here in Dripping Springs, Texas, for this THSLL state tournament, as the Dallas Jesuit Rangers are leading by 4 goals over St. Mark's. And so far, guys, this whole matchup has lived up to the billing as the Rangers are running away with it. And Brian, I'll kick this question over to you for St. Mark's. What are some of the adjustments that they can make to try and steal some of this momentum to get back ahead in the second quarter?
I think a big thing is trying to find a way to break up the possessions, whether that is really kind of pinching on the ball carrier and trying to create a turnover. The big thing with the Jesuit team is you want to get them in transition. You want to try to attack them in transition because you want the poles to be moving backwards. You want Connor Knight to not be settled in goal, because once he is, all 6'5" of them is going to take up a majority of the cage. And so it's one of those things where you want to be on the gas pedal. You don't want to be staying in first gear. You want to be continuously pushing towards the crease to see if you can get that transition style goal. And I mean, honestly, what St. Mark's was doing in the first quarter when they had the ball and they were trying to work their offense, especially on those 2 goal possessions, I thought is exactly what you have to do. Create confusing looks, create that moment of hesitation that is going to make the big Connor Knight second guess where he's putting his stick and his cross, and I think that's why they were able to have advantages and success early on in that first quarter.
And Coach Lee, I got to ask you, Ian Mize is someone we talked about going into this matchup. We know that he is a stud, 2-time All-American, and everything that he presents for the Lions. You've seen also the Rangers pay close attention to him. What can he do to get his game going here in Dripping Springs?
Well, I think it all starts with possession, right? There's an old adage that possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of the result on the lacrosse field. So
I've never heard it applied in lacrosse, but you got me.
So St. Mark's just has not had the offensive possessions in this game, and it's very difficult to get involved offensively if the other guy has the ball the entire game. So they're going to have to figure that out at the face-off X, and if they can get possession, I think Mize is certainly capable of breaking down defenders, but they've got to get the ball.
You see the adjustments being made by both squads at the face-off.
That time it looked like they got Reading for a procedure call. So
Okay.
St. Mark's will that is the 3rd face-off win for St. Mark's as opposed to 7 for Jesuit right now.
Couldn't hear the
And the
whistle.
shots are 13-3 Jesuit, which gives you a sense of who's really controlling the body punches associated with this game.
And just like a good heavyweight matchup, that first round has been fierce. Let's see if the Lions are able to settle down and get into their offense. Back across, and that's a shot attempt by number 7, Murphy Paul,
Good right-handed shot by Murphy, and Connor Knight, an outstanding goalkeeper, obviously up to the task.
Yeah, a shot like that, I mean, you have to have somebody screening on Connor. He just has so much experience in the cage. If he can see somebody hands-free and he can see the release point of the ball, he's very effective at able to get his stick out there in front. For a guy of his size, he has surprising agility in order to get himself in position to save shots.
My scouting report on him was you have to move him. You have to take shots off the catch that have gone across the heart of the defense to get him to move from pipe to pipe.
And there's that rear check. You call it the can opener. Dislodging the ball from the head, and the Lions able to create that turnover and take possession. Looking for the clear, nothing coming easy to St. Mark's right now. As they advance it and set up their offense.
I thought perhaps Jesuit might go to a 10-man ride in this game, but I think Chris has been content to be a little more conservative in his riding game, especially up 6-2 here, where they don't want to take any chances of creating offense for the Lions.
Murphy Paul working in the hub. Getting the ball out with 29 seconds on the shot clock, 9:38 on the game clock. Luke Stalling is working from behind X, gets it back to Paul. Great pass. In possession with 3 Rangers all over him. And that's a ball that comes out high and a bit of a scrum there in front of the cage, and St. Mark's keeps the possession.
Ferocious ground ball battle.
Yeah, that was that whole last 30 seconds was unbelievable. But heading into triple coverage, you have Jackson Fake and Michael Maffey and Cooper Tilden really putting on the big-time stick checks, and somehow St. Mark's comes out of it. That was a very gritty play by the Lions.
Look at Ian Mize looking for the great, had a great pass, great idea, but just a little low.
And a nice job by the Jesuit defense there. Ian takes his man out to the goal line extended wing and gets underneath, but Jesuit very quick to slide and support that matchup.
Murphy Paul dancing in the alley. Back down to Mize, making his way back in for the bouncer. And boy, Mize took a shot at the crease.
Terrific save by Knight again, who is, you mentioned how quick he was, how quickly he gets down, he gets the head of his stick down to his toes there to protect the 5-hole from Ian.
It may be one of the things that I find most impressive about Knight is I think I've seen him make more kick saves and saves with his body than any goalie I've seen really at any level. He is someone who will absolutely sell out for a save and make sure that his team gets possession back. And that's really been a key reason why he has such a prominent leadership role on the team, and why he's really been the bedrock for last year's state title run and this year's run thus far.
And not the first great goalie that Chris Saran has had at Jesuit. The latest in a long line of terrific goalies. He does a great job training his goaltenders.
Absolutely. We think about Luke Milliken, who's doing a phenomenal job moving into the starting role at Jacksonville University.
Holy moly! Somebody, please!
Yeah, I think they waved that one off. I didn't see what the call on the field was.
They got Jesuit for a moving pick there as Hobbs got a little bit of an advantage going down the left-hand alley. A beautiful left-handed sidearm shot from the right-handed Hobbs, showing his versatility as a shooter, but the goal waved off.
Man, what about the window he shot that into? That's unfortunate because that was highlight reel worthy. The shot from McAllister Hobbs waved off with 6:58 in the second. Murphy Paul getting the ball back over to Luke Stalling. See the Lions moving a little bit quicker here on offense.
St. Mark's looking to attack the short stick matchups. Right now, Murphy Paul and Luke Stallings. Stallings able to draw a slide and get the Jesuit defense moving, but they recovered well.
That's a good job. by number 3, Jackson Fagan.
Yeah, he was very, very calm on that. He did not bite on the quick turn. He stayed steady. He kept his feet planted, and that's what resulted in that stick check, and now the Rangers with the ball back in transition.
6:07 on the game clock. Rangers with possession in a 4-point lead. Lucky to have that previous shot by McAllister Hobbs waved off. John Starr setting up the offense.
Jesuit in their 2-2-2 open set.
Jack Fawcett was on the move, passes it back out, gets it to Hobbs. Looking for the cutter in front of the cage, and boy, that pass not able to get there in time. St. Mark's lucky to have that one back.
Yeah, that's a good offensive set there. They ran the alley pick and then threw it forward and then threw it back to the picker. Unfortunately, it looked like he stepped in the crease off that cut, so turned it over to St. Mark's, who promptly has turned it right back over to Jesuit, and looks like we got a timeout on the field.
Yeah, that play, the turnover happening because Charles Moran climbing the ladder to grab that ball off the clear attempt. Yeah, I think that's been a big thing in this quarter. I mean, it's wild to think that we're, almost at the end of the second. We haven't seen a goal scored after the flurry that we saw there in the first quarter. But that's been the tale of the second quarter thus far, is both teams really trying to get something going offensively, but the other squad's defense just causing fits. A lot of good, disciplined defensive work from both St. Mark's and Jesuit.
And some good goaltending as well.
Absolutely, on both ends. And I think that's really this is the game that I was looking forward to seeing, because Jesuit has that offensive potability, but I'm looking at what I've seen from St. Mark's, and obviously not being able to see them in person until this point, it was going to be a game decided in the trenches. And in order to beat Jesuit, you have to out-physical them. You have to create turnovers. You have to create that chaos. And the second quarter, I think the Lions are doing a much, much better job of simply making sure that Jesuit is constantly uncomfortable in the offensive end.
I would say that so far, the game is going much more the way Jesuit would have envisioned than the way St. Mark's. And you can see that evident, number one, in the volume of possession time that Jesuit has had the luxury of having, largely created to Will Reading and his dominance at the faceoff X, and then Jesuit's patience offensively. But secondly, the Jesuit midfielders have had a little bit easier time breaking down the St. Mark's defense than St. Mark's has been able to break down Jesuit. So we'll see if that continues.
I want to thank you all for joining us here on Game On Sports for the THSLL State Tournament. And boy, with 5:07 on the game clock, man, and you guys have pretty much outlined this entire game schematically on how both of these teams can continue to, either if you're the Rangers, lead, or if you're St. Mark's, try to dig yourself out of this hole that you've dug in the first half. And as the Rangers have the possession, as play resumes here in Dripping Springs.
Once again, Jesuit 2-2-2.
Full slate of lacrosse for you here on Game On Sports in Dripping Springs. And boy, that one was one that almost rolled into the cage. The Rangers have the possession again. Schmidt getting it to the far side to Metz. Metz working through the middle of the field. Trying to split the double team is number 8 for the Rangers. And in the middle of the field, they find number 14 wide open. Not able to advance or capitalize.
Yeah, that's Nate Duncan breaking down his man, getting a switch. St. Mark's slow to recover the short stick and giving up the open shot just wide.
Let's see McAllister Hobbs miss too many of those. 4:16 here in the second.
I was happy those last two shots. I'm happy they have the soccer net there in the background. Also have to fix a hole in the fencing back behind the scoreboard. Both of those screaming off the cross. That last one deflected. A good stick check by St. Mark's off the release from Duncan.
Especially the one from Hobbs. That was a laser. They've got 4 seconds on the shot clock. And this is another shot clock violation.
I'm glad you can read that shot clock. Your eyes are better than mine.
I'll tell you what, man, these SLR lenses, they work for me, man. I tell you, I can't go anywhere without them. And I'm looking through the reader portion of it. So I will tell you, that's a distance. And that's the defense for the Rangers. Coming through is number 12. Gets the pass, and what a pass and score. Boy, that was pretty.
Really pretty. That's Beckett Foley with the pickup, and then unselfishly looking to his pole, and what a handle and finish there.
Wonderful job by the Rangers. Couldn't have done it any better with 3:34 here in the second. The Rangers up by 5 and just taking advantage of all the miscues from the Lions.
Well, it's hard enough when you play a team of Jesuits quality and you're on the south end at the face-off X, but when you get possession out of your defensive end, you have to clear it. Second chance opportunities will prove lethal in this game.
And the Lions able to get a victory there at the X, and here they are with the possession. Murphy Paul setting up the offense for the Lions. Lions needing to steal some momentum back in this game because the Rangers have come out and punched them in the mouth, basically. Murphy Paul working across the defense.
And this is the guy you need to get going if you're St. Mark's. There's Ian Mize coming off a pick, getting to the middle of the field. Get the ball in his stick, it's likely something good will happen.
What the Lions can't afford to do is become spectators when Mize has the ball. Got to find the guy that's moving. They look like they did right there, but the defense is able to get there and cover and far out of his cage.
Well, I love the creative look there by St. Mark's, but give the Jesuit defense credit for rotating very quickly into the ball and forcing the turnover, and then Connor Knight with the pickup, and he draws the foul, so Jesuit finds itself going man up.
And I think the last two possessions for St. Mark's, the thing that's impressed me the most about Jesuit is they've been so patient to wait on the pinch. They've been waiting to kind of, back to the rest of the offense in a spot where you can't really turn around, and then they bring the defenders to come in and start to create that really convoluted possession where no one can really get free.
It's a very athletic Jesuit defense.
Yes.
They move around very well, and your windows of opportunity are small, and you've got to be quick, or they'll rotate in and take away your scoring opportunities.
And here we are, 2:24 in the second, as the ball comes. It's going to come inbounds.
So Jesuit looks to show 3-3 set to open up this man up. They traditionally run a set where they run a pick and slip, a backdoor, trapdoor play. Let's see if they stick with that or go to something different in this game.
Charlie Schmidt bringing the ball inbounds, working in the middle of the field, getting it out to Nate Duncan. Nate Duncan and Schmidt playing a bit of a two-man game. Boy, he's almost painting the corner right there was McAllister Hobbs.
St. Mark's playing a house zone, sharing the crease with 5 strings.
And that's an easy one. Right in the line of sight of your goalie.
Probably not quite enough angle there, and a nice save by Ian Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Foley definitely has the shooting ability. I think he, like you mentioned, he wants to move back a little closer to about the 20-yard line on that shot. Gioli's kind of doesn't give him a big-time window, but it's still a good job on the reaction time from Williams to get his cross up and make a solid save.
And the high-quality ride from Jesuit forces St. Mark's to pitch it down the length of the field, and Jesuit will get the ball right back.
Trying to escape the violation, and there's a turnover and possession by the Rangers as they are on the move immediately. As Grayson Kissa on the clear. 1 minute, a minute 4 seconds left in the half. As Charlie Schmidt slows the Rangers offense down.
Be interesting to see here if Coach Duran holds for one shot or if he lets his guys play loose and free.
It's kind of if either way, you're looking at a separate possession for St. Mark's. So I think the big thing for them is just finding the best possible shot. You got 14 seconds between shot clock and game clock.
no matter what, I keep a guy on number 14. I find him, I track him, and I make sure that I do not allow him to get that shot. With 29 seconds left here in the first half, and the Lions are on the move, trying to get a shot off before the end of this half as they get the clear. And that's Zach Stone with the clear for the Lions.
Wouldn't be surprised if St. Mark's called a timeout to try to set something up here.
And that's exactly what they're going to do with 7 seconds left in the half.
Unfortunately, it took them a little too long to get the ball inside the restraining line, and you cannot call a timeout until the ball is inside the restraining line. So I think Coach Leno would have loved to have been able to call that timeout with 16 or 17 seconds. When you only have 7 seconds, you're limited in terms of what you can set up and do. Really only time for one pass and possibly a hitch and an opportunity to shoot here.
Yeah, Coach Duran, he knows the same thing, and he's setting up his defense to deny exactly what you're talking about. So you're right. They put 3 more seconds there, so they have 10 seconds here to deal with is St. Mark's.
And I'll be interested to see the defensive look that Jesuit gives out of this timeout. And I think the big thing for the Rangers in this one is, hey, if we don't obviously want to give up a goal in this possession, but we especially don't want to give one up in close proximity tonight. If it's a phenomenal shot from distance and they sight it out properly and they have a screener in front of Knight, then okay, like we'll go home with that. But to give a team momentum heading into halftime, you don't want to give a shot that's going to be one that will be incredibly fun to see, but also very, very talented from a schematic standpoint to have St. Mark's go into halftime saying, hey, look, we just did that. We can compete with this team. I think the Rangers just want to keep harnessing their momentum in this last 10 seconds.
Well said, Brian, because a goal at the end of a quarter I've always felt is like a goal and a half because of the momentum that you take in. So Jesuit staying with their man-to-man and applying pressure to the ball. Mize picking up the ball from St. Mark's, drawing an adjacent slide, and unfortunately, ball just going wide for St. Mark's.
Yeah, ball ricochets off of a player, and that's going to leave a mark. With 2 seconds left in the half. St. Mark's trying to bring it inbounds, and that's going to be the end of the first half here in Class 2A state title play. And guys, man, what a matchup. And obviously came in with so much hype around this matchup between the number 1 and number 4 seed, and it is not disappointed. I'll start with you, Coach Lee. What has been your assessment of the first half?
Well, possession. So really my 2 keys going into this game were, number 1, who was going to control the face-off X, and number 2, what was going to happen in the riding and clearing game. And right now you see Jesuit with some degree of dominance at the face-off X, giving them a huge possession advantage. And then you see some fail clears from St. Mark's and some quality riding from Jesuit, giving them extended and additional possessions. And right now, St. Mark's is going to have to get into halftime and figure out a way to even out the time of possession advantage. And if you're Coach Saran and Jesuit, you're very, very pleased with how that's gone. It's gone right according to game plan, and you just want to continue those possessional body punches and ultimately let your guys go to work.
And Brian, give me your assessment of the first half.
Yeah, I think the big thing right now for Coach Saran is, coming out of halftime, you're going to see something that he works on with these guys all season, and that is working in patience with the lead and utilizing this shot clock game that we're into now. Being able to sit back and kind of wait, have long possessions, utilize the clock. But very much, as was mentioned before, a lot of this game came down when I was looking at the keys for myself. I thought dominating the X and the ground ball game. Connor Knight has to be in postseason mode. He did that in the second quarter. And for Jesuit, find the open man. They have so many options offensively, and I think we've seen that. You look at the rundown of the goal scorers so far, and it's varied. I mean, Reading coming in and scoring 2 is, that's an anomaly for Jesuit. And I think that's a big thing, and that opens up the field a little bit more. And for St. Mark's, I think a big part of it is just keep Jesuit guessing in what they're doing. You don't want to settle into a certain type of offense. You always want to try to maneuver yourself in a spot where Jesuit has to try to accommodate, try to overslide, try to overcommit to something, and that will allow you to have that open shot against them, because you have to keep the defense and Knight out of position, and I think that's going to be a big part here for them just in the second.
Brian, it's a real test of your maturity as a player and as a team when you're possessing the ball a third of your opponent, to be able to be patient. The tendency is, especially when you're down 5 goals, is to start pressing. And really important right now, if you're in the St. Mark's huddle, to remind your guys to still play within your offensive identity and your framework and what brought you here. Don't worry about what the scoreboard says. Just work on playing minute to minute according to your identity and what you do best, and not press and try to make up 5 goals in the limited possession time that you have.
It's halftime here in Dripping Springs, and we're going to step aside as we come right back for the beginning of the second half here on Game On Sports.
Dripping Springs Lacrosse would like to thank our sponsors, Carol Ware, Chris Reynolds with Owen Williams, Westlake Veterinary Clinic, Nika, owner of the Ode, Property Group at Compass, Calaterra, Cat Group, Premier Dance Center, River City Off-Road, and H2O2. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please be respectful of the referees, players, coaches, refrain from cursing. Thank you.
Here we are back in action here in Dripping Springs, Texas for the THSLL State Tournament. And so far, the Rangers from Jesuit giving the Lions from St. Mark's all they can handle. As the Rangers are up by 5, score 7, Jesuit 2, St. Mark's. Both players back down at the X.
Good adjustment by St. Mark's there, again winning the faceoff and setting it immediately to his wing, Ian Mize, to get the first faceoff win of the second half.
Hadn't seen many of those, so whatever adjustment was made, that's a good one.
The first thing I can think about is, Coach Saran has been on the opposite side of a 5-goal deficit in a TSHLL platform, trailing ESD by that margin in the 2017 state title game, coming back to win it. And so he knows, what it takes to come back from a deficit of that nature, and he's trying to make sure his team does not have that kind of experience today.
Can't blame him for that, especially when you have the experience. But one of the things that I would point out to our viewing audience is that the temperature is definitely rising here in Dripping Springs, as the temperature now at 94 degrees. And boy, the heat that's coming off of that turf is probably affecting both of these squads. So look for the attrition to be something that plays into this match.
St. Mark's initially attacking with Big Small behind the cage. Here's Henry Picagli, the St. Mark's attackman, who Jesuit is playing with a short stick. So they're what we call double polling up in the midfield to cover Mize and Boykin with long sticks.
Picagli with the previous shot. That's a bouncer in the middle of the field, and that's a great save.
A clean save on a high bounce shot, not easy to do.
Pass from Reading. Back over to number 14, McAllister Hobbs, and number 14 has the green light out here.
And one of Hobbs' specialties is that turnaround shot, kind of making that spin and ripping it. And, eventually he's right there with the sighting it down. You can tell he's sent a couple of those over the crossbar. He's just trying to get that extra little touch, that little extra finesse to curl it to where he wants it to go.
Man, it looks like a Superman punch coming off his stick.
That's the same action that Jesuit ran to start the game, where Hobbs starts on the crease. They run a seal for him backside, and again, just sailing it high.
The pass across to Hobbs, not able to handle that pass, and here are the Lions on the run, on the clear, recognizing that they're down by 5 goals.
Nate Duncan there doing a great job supporting the ride, making sure that there was not a clean lane to get towards the crease.
Good job by Charlie Metz. Now getting up to, that's an errant pass. That is rolling. The Lions are able to get it, and that's a little bit of a sloppy play right now for St. Mark's.
I always tell young coaches, take the amount of time that you think you need to work on clearing and multiply it by 3. And that's even more accentuated right now in the heat and elements out here when fatigue sets in. Clearing of the utmost importance.
Yeah, Beckett Foley with the shot there that rolls left of the cage. St. Mark's with the possession. And on the clear.
Niles Harvey for St. Mark's with a nice job clearing that ball.
And We know on the field before we were trying to figure out the identity of number 55, and we found out during the halftime break it was simply a jersey change for number 6, Billy Robertson. Normally one of the top long poles here for the team. Normally wears 6, but flipped over to 55 for today's game.
Wearing the double nickel is Robertson.
You must have heard me.
Fooled everyone.
That was Luke Stallings turning the corner for St. Mark's, getting a nice opportunity, but again, Connor Knight up to the task with a nice save.
Jackson Fagan on the clear for the Rangers are there as they are back in business on offense. 8:23 in the third.
And I think now from the Rangers, you're going to see some deliberate offense over the next few minutes, just taking a lot of time.
Oh my God, it's so much for taking a lot of time, as Charlie Smith says, hey, I'll hand you this, Mr. Montgomery.
That's classic Jesuit offense. It's a 2-2-2 set to start, and then they float the crease guy off to the backside. They draw the slide off of the crease guy, and then instead of hitting the follow, he skips it directly across the field to the float, who is wide open, unplayed. So that is classic Jesuit offense, and you see them there running it to perfection.
And 15 yards away. I mean, so you set that up to perfection to get that shot out.
Sir, you want to put your crease guy, your shooter, in a position where they'll slide off him, which is what Jesuit did, and then they float him to the backside, and then, of course, the beautiful pass to get the ball to him first time before the defense can rotate.
Will Reading doing it again. Another victory at the X for the Rangers.
And a big thing with Jesuit in that last possession is they almost, not necessarily lull you, but you're waiting for that extra pass, because we've seen a lot of pass down to crease level and then shoot. But I think after a while, Saran kind of gives the guys the release button. Hey, if you want to shoot from behind the 20, go for it. If you see the shot and you like it, if it keeps you confused, if it keeps the defense moving, go for it. John
Starr with the great pass inside to Beckett Foley. Foley not able to take advantage. They have numbers.
Huge save by Williams right there.
And then Charles Moran getting the turn up, getting the ground ball, taking the shot, and picking up the ground ball off the shot to keep possession in favor of the Rangers, and a fresh shot clock as well.
Rangers on the move on offense, and that's another save at the feet of your goalie.
I think Matt Cobbs has hit the post at least definitely twice today. And that plus the one that was waved off to the illegal screen, Hobbs is really starting to get some good shots on cage.
He made that thing rattle.
Did they reinforce this before the tournament?
They better have. They better have.
Are these carbon fiber cages, or did they upgrade for that?
Christopher Wagner for, excuse me. Murphy Paul setting up the offense for the Lions, getting it back over to the far side. Lions not having any luck setting up their offense here in the second half.
And we've seen a lot from Jesuit, having a lot of different members of the defensive core out doing work. Right now I see Sam Emery, number 20, Jack Emery, really trying to make an impact.
That's a shot attempt right at the chest of the goalie. Not much he has to do on that.
That's a left-handed shot from the left-hand alley outside the hash marks. Not a lot of cage to look at, and Connor Knight is going to gobble most of those up.
I think even for me there, he takes the shot off the chest and then immediately just reaches out and just snags it. No big deal. Like just that quick movement on the stick in order to get the ball and move the Rangers in transition. That's just a very experienced and quick goalkeeper there for the Rangers.
Yeah, that's an early timeout call, to thank God for that chest plate, because I'm telling you, with the velocity that those balls are coming in at, man, you got to have something in between you and Ed.
You just get the sense right now, if you look at the two offenses, you've got the Jesuit offense that is currently operating very much within their rhythm, within their overall philosophy that's gotten them here all year. You have St. Mark's offense, which is playing a little bit outside itself. You've got guys taking shots in the first few seconds of the possession. We're not getting the ball to move, and just a little bit out of rhythm for the St. Mark's offense. They're going to need to settle down here.
Yeah, and here they are, and you can tell Coach Leno on the far side, he is coaching his guys up as the pace right now not favoring St. Mark's, especially with the way that the Rangers have been executing. And so, Coach, I kind of get the sense that for you think that they should kind of slow it, just kind of make sure that they get quality shots instead of rushing the shot clock and taking errant shots.
They're going to have to take a little more time and exercise a little bit more patience. What they're clearly able to do is get the Jesuit defense to move and support and slide. So they're going to create some scoring opportunities, and they've certainly got the skill level to do that. But if they play first guy that touches the ball, gets to dodge and shoot, that's going to play right into Connor Knight's hands because he sees the ball really well. You've got to get him moving from pipe to pipe and that Jesuit defense to play on a carousel before you can really get a great opportunity to score.
5:35 left here in the third. Both teams come back onto the field. Possession is going to be with the Rangers. I believe that was a water break for both squads, and that's really heads up by the THSLL. Making sure that both of these squads stay hydrated. Like I mentioned before, the temperature is rising here in Dripping Springs.
That's great to see. We want everyone to be healthy.
Now in the middle of the field, there's Charlie Metz setting up the offense for the Rangers. Advancing on the hashes, and that pass is going to go back across the midfield. St. Mark's with the possession. Let's see if they can do exactly what you just mentioned, Coach Lee, because they have got to get a quality possession here, down by 5 in the third. Excuse me, down by 6 in the third.
And again, the Jesuit defense double polling up into the St. Mark's midfield, playing Henry Picagli with a short stick.
Got to take advantage of those shorties on shorties. And the guy you just mentioned, here he is, standing at the hash mark and gets the score with 4:34 in the third, and that's the score that St. Mark's needed.
He's a special shooter, and right there, his defensive matchup just gave him a little too much space, leaking top down at Jason on the roll, and we were able to find Henry, and Henry put the ball right in the corner.
And the thing that's most impressive is the positioning of the shot. I mean, for Connor Knight, we've seen what he can do with a cross down low. That was right at about the mid part of the bicep. So hard to bring your stick up to try to compensate for that area. Kind of the soft spot of where you want to shoot on a goal. It's just a phenomenal shot.
And possession goes to St. Mark's. Maybe a procedure penalty on reading.
I believe that's his second in the game.
Here's Murphy Paul in the middle of working the middle of the field.
The Lions trying to run Jake Park, an attackman, in at midfield to see if they can get an advantage, but Jesuit, very astute defensively, made sure that he still got the pole matchup.
Yeah, Jack Emery with a good job facing up on the defender, not giving him any space to pass with comfort.
Working from behind the X, and they get a shot off from top side.
Just another nice heads-up move there from Connor Knight, siding the ball. You know, you don't want to give it still a skip a little bit ahead of the crease, but still no chance. Make sure he gets the stick on it, moves it up and over, out of bounds.
Charlie Moran with a shot there. Goes out of bounds. Possession's going to stay with the Lions. Excuse me, I said Charlie Moran. That's the wrong roster.
St. Mark's initiating with their big small behind the cage and now moving the ball back up top.
Shot, which Jake Park, excuse me. Make sure I get that right.
Luke Stallings.
Yeah, Luke Stallings with this most recent shot, just off goal line extended. Just kind of what we saw earlier from Beckett. Just trying to get something going, goal line extended, really tough angle to try to get one in the back of the net with.
Now here we are with 30 seconds on the shot clock for the Lions. down by 5. The Rangers defense adjusting. You can see that slide protection. They're making sure that they're staying in front of their shooters.
I like what St. Mark's is doing, starting to shoot from distance with screeners in front. Trying not to really have a lot going inside, rather electing to shoot from distance. And it paid off, and they're getting some solid looks during this possession.
See the double team outside on Mize.
And a shot clock violation off the loose ball. They're trying to do a really quick pass cross crease. A little bit of traffic there for the Rangers, and it ends up being a shot clock.
A nice job by Jesuits defense. They gave up shots there, but they didn't give up any slam dunks. They forced St. Mark's to have to skip it across the top of the defense and shoot from the outside. And look, if you've got 13 in between the pipes, you force people to shoot the ball from range, you've got a great chance of making saves.
Jesuits setting up their offense from the far side, and that's Charlie Metz for the Rangers. Beckett Foley coming back across the field. Gets it to Hobbs, McAllister Hobbs. Boy, that's a shot in close.
That might be the save of the game right there. That was a phenomenal save on the doorstep.
Number 7 trying to work his way back top side, gets it out to Metz. Metz trying to get a little peekaboo shot in there. Not fooling anyone.
Not much angle, but he hit it off the pipe, so that gets Jesuit a fresh reset on the shot clock.
Reminded me of his first goal of the game when he came off the reset, came underneath, and then shot and scored. Kind of that really quick, as you mentioned, peekaboo quick shot.
There it is, and that's another point-blank range save.
Wow. Ian Williams really standing on his head with 2 terrific saves off inside cuts, and doing a great job keeping St. Mark's in it. Brilliant ball stopping by the junior netminder for St. Mark's.
So we've got a call, and that's going to keep the possession this way for the Rangers.
With a fresh shot clock, so this possession will, if the Rangers would like to, they can expire the third quarter with this possession.
Trying to make a move inside was Nate Duncan. Nate Duncan finds it. Fernandez right at the crease, but Fernandez thinks better of it, brings it out. 18 seconds on the play clock. He's going to reset the shot clock. Never mind that, and there it is. Charlie Metz.
Taking the contact, great feed from Duncan to the point. Metz hands-free, lets it loose, takes the contact, gutsy play, gets it to the back of the net, and that's a big goal for Jesuit. A 6-goal lead with 9 seconds left to go in the third when they have already had a very successful third quarter dictating the pace.
A high volume of shots in that possession and some brilliant saves from Williams, but off the pipe caught St. Mark's defense in a little bit of a loose ball scramble, and Jesuit able to find the open man stepping in, and that's just too good of a look.
Back down at the X for the Rangers is number 21, Will Reading.
And now you see St. Mark's will be man down facing off. So John Charest will take the face off for St. Mark's. And I'm sure Jesuit will just hold the ball here so that they can start with possession in the fourth quarter.
And you're absolutely right. As the end of the third quarter, Dallas Jesuit 9, St. Mark's 3. And so far, man, everything going the way of the Rangers. Every bounce ball, everything seems to be landing perfectly for the Rangers. And, man, from the first quarter up until now, they have not lit up.
Yeah, I think for St. Mark's, second chance opportunities from failed clears, 5 failed clears were somewhat detrimental to the St. Mark's cause, and you credit Jesuit for just that methodical, grinding offense. They're getting great shots. Ian Williams playing lights out in the cage for St. Mark's to keep them in it, but you can't stop a quality team like Jesuit if they get that many shots in that many possessions.
Yeah, I think a huge thing for Jesuit this entire game, we keep mentioning it over and over and over again, is patience and waiting for your play to develop and waiting for your opportunity before you go ahead and try to force a play. And I think we've seen that in the first half with the way that they would have that extra pass. So, I mean, like, sure, the guy was open from 15, 20 yards out, but having that extra pass down goal line extended for the high percentage chance has been key. And I think in this third quarter, realizing that, okay, there's been plenty of offense close to the crease. Let's spread out the field. Let's start to take shots from distance, and that's where we saw a lot of the success. I think punctuated by that pass from Duncan. He had open space, but what did he do? He saw the slide, sent it to the top of the point. Charlie Metz, straight shot right at the net.
Yeah, it's the confidence for me for the Rangers. I mean, the way that they're playing right now, every shot attempt, they're in such rhythm on offense. Everything is starting to come to them very easily. And when you play that aggressively and play that boldly, it makes the flow of the game look that much better. I mean, it's the aesthetics of lacrosse that they're playing right now. It's a beautiful matchup and a beautiful game that the Rangers are playing here, that finding themselves 12 minutes away from going to another state title.
Jesuit starting here man up in a 1-3-2 set.
Metz scored the last goal, and that's a stoppage in play.
Now, St. Mark's will play this in a house zone, which means all 5 guys will share crease responsibility.
Right now, the Rangers on the swing. Good ball movement and finding a guy inside, and that is going to be hard to beat, is Charlie Schmidt. Standing on the front porch and scores, and then, hey, Williams would just have to have another couple of arms to get a stop.
And a great piece of execution and coaching from Jesuit there. You can see they've got St. Mark's scouted as running a 5-man house zone. So they pop the crease guy off behind. They draw adjacent rotation. They cut a player from the top down to the crease, and St. Mark's does not have one player designated to cover that, and of course tic-tac-toe, you've got a Jesuit goal.
And that's been almost a bread and butter play for Jesuit all season. If I had to blink twice, I think that I'm back in Dallas watching the Rangers play somewhere in the Metroplex. Very familiar, but again, a credit to the ability of the team to know where the guys are at all times. To go from stick to stick is huge.
And good play design and score by the Rangers as the Lions take the possession. Another stoppage in play.
I believe I saw the official on the Jesuit defensive side signal an illegal procedure. Regardless, give St. Mark's the ball back.
And if you're going to get back in this game, number 10 is one of the guys that's going to help you do it.
Mines hasn't been as effective today, and it's been the Jesuit defense that's paid close attention to number 10. He has had several Rangers draped all over him. They know who the playmakers are in yellow.
And at number 47, Tyler Gaslin for the Rangers is a massive impact player. You don't say his name a lot because he takes out the guy he's defending.
That's a score.
That's Jake Park going down the right-hand alley and getting underneath his man in a brilliant little bounce shot to get the ball over Connor Knight's shoulder. So much needed goal for St. Mark's and an excellent piece of dodging and finishing by Jake Park.
Now, Coach Lee, with 10:50 left, you get that momentum. Jake Park gets in, gets a score, and they make that possession look as easy as it's been for them this entire game. That's the momentum exactly that the Lions needed to try and get back in this ball game, because this whole time the Rangers have just not given them any room to breathe. And it's been from this guy, number 21, in the middle.
And what was fascinating there for me off that clamp, I think that for St. Mark's, Gang thought that he had it. He was heading towards the crease. He was booking it. Turns around and Redding has the ball heading towards the goal for St. Mark's.
Yeah, you have to. I saw the same thing, and I thought to myself, well, maybe he just doesn't recognize he doesn't have the ball. It's something told him he did. Will Reading is a magician now at the X. Rangers setting up their offense, going through McAllister, Hobbs, and Metz, playing the two-man game at the top. Another great play design to get it to number 14, McAllister Hobbs.
The ball gets so quickly from the alley dodge to X and back up the backside. When you're playing Jesuit, one of the things you have to consider is, am I going to press out or deny that look forward and make Jesuit have to get the ball to the backside a different way?
No such luck as of yet from the Lions as they have the possession.
I think for Jesuit right now, especially, coming off of a goal by St. Mark's and now they have the ball back, just stay patient, stay grounded, and make sure that you're not giving up an extra opportunity. You're not overcommitting. You're not trying to bite or do something or try to play hero ball. Just sit back, stay grounded, and let the defense and let your preparation and scouting speak for itself.
And it's at this point, especially with 9:24 left, the Lions are going to need someone to be the hero. And that's a pass, right idea, but into traffic, and that's a turnover. And going the way of the Rangers is number 9, Max Fernandez, on the clear for Jesuit.
St. Mark's drew the adjacent slide there, but probably need to exercise just a tad more patience before looking inside. A couple more passes and something a little better might have been available. Jesuit doing a great job collapsing the middle.
Rangers with good ball movement coming back across the middle as McAllister Hobbs trying to bring the defense with him. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Hobbs with a laser from about 13 yards out, and I'm telling you, this kid has the green light.
That's a quick release, really quick release, and to have a release that quick and get that much on the shot is a credit to how hard that young man has worked on his game. But again, from a X's and O's big picture philosophy, how quickly does Jesuit get the ball down the side through X and back up top? If you're going to slow that down, you've got to get more pressure, more ball pressure on the player at X.
Was fascinating too. So McAllister Hobbs taking you all the way back to 2020, right before the shutdown as a sophomore. I'll tell you, after this face-off in possession by Jesuit.
Doing it again, calling his own number and running down. Finish your thought.
And so when Hobbs was a sophomore, he really hadn't had a lot of possessions, a lot of time. Scored the overtime game winner for Jesuit against ESD. That sent the Rangers into the shutdown with an undefeated season. Ended up being ranked in the regional rankings. And since then, he has just been one of the primary offensive threats for Jesuit. This year, had to move to attack after some injuries, limited the Jesuit personnel, and he's responded with a 50-goal season. And it just shows you he's a team player. He's someone who is a very program-centric mind, definition of a student-athlete, headed to Penn State. And he's been waiting for that goal all game. He's been having great shots, great looks, finally got it sighted right where he wanted it.
Yeah, can't say enough about number 14. You talk about his quick release. I mean, he was just, it took no time for that ball to come screaming off of his head. And there they are again in the middle of the field with a wide open shot at Williams.
That's beautiful pick and roll stuff from Jesuit. Drew the double off the pick and threw it back.
Pass over the middle, picked off by the Lions. Williams comes out and Lions in business, trying to put some scores up. Now down by 7. And that's going to be a turnover. And possession back to the Rangers, who are on the move. Not wasting any time. And look at that, McAllister Hobbs. It doesn't get any easier than that. The unselfish play of the Rangers just taking over right now.
You can see the difference in energy between the two teams right now. And that was just a brilliant sequence of ball movement and unselfish play and quality goal from the Jesuit Rangers.
And I think we saw that in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter, just that fast-moving, knowing where the man is at all times, having confidence in your teammates, and that's when you get really nice, beautiful set play, just transition play goals like that. Just a lot of it comes from teamwork. A lot of it comes from the camaraderie in the team.
I get a sense right now, clearly, that the depth of the Jesuit team is having an effect on this game, that heat has perhaps had a little greater effect on the St. Mark's players. The concentration perhaps not quite there, and Jesuit's concentration clearly on its A game.
Yeah, you have to have laser focus, especially in heat like this, and so it just makes you human. You know, and both teams are dealing with it, but you're right, the depth right now of the Jesuit Rangers starting to take over in this matchup. That's a shot attempt at the legs of Connor Knight. Connor Knight lights out.
Give some credit to Cooper Tilden as well there. That ball was loose in the crease, and he saw it. He moved over quickly and helped out Connor Knight to make sure that ball did not get into the back of the net. And just a nice heads-up play by someone who, you know, on the back end of that play could be moving forward, but instead was heads up enough to turn around and notice that the ball was there.
We're at 5:58 here in the fourth. Time becoming important as the Rangers have put their foot on the gas and have not looked back from the first quarter. Coming back inside is number 44, Grayson Kissick. That's a turnover. St. Mark's advances. Gets the clear, setting up their offense. And timeout called on the field. And boy, I tell you, this is a matchup that started out, it was close. And then all of a sudden, it just seems as though the Rangers started to execute so much better. You talk about the energy that they're playing with, and you saw that start to take over right at about, I'd say that right at about the middle of the second. It seems like all of the energy was just kind of zapped out of St. Mark's, and the pace of the game started to favor the Rangers.
Well, I think energy is a function of two factors at this point. Number one, your overall collective team depth. Jesuit has been running more midfielders in this game than St. Mark's has, and so that's clearly been a factor. And secondly, the volume of offensive possession for Jesuit, again, I liken to body punches in boxing. It's a lot easier to play with energy when you have the ball than it is when you're constantly having to defend the ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And taking another one from boxing, hit the body and the head will die. And so here we are in the fourth, and someone's head is a little bit woozy. If you're in yellow, the Lions have tried to respond, but nothing has worked up until this point, and we're at 5:19 in the fourth. I'm Heckma Harrison with Game On Sports, joined up here in the booth by Coach Lee and Brian Montgomery. And guys, this has been everything for us. And number 1 seed and number 4 seed has lived up to the billing, but obviously Jesuit doing everything right now. And this is going to be all day. You think this matchup is something? We have another one right after this, so it is lacrosse overload here in Dripping Springs.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, this beautiful Mother's Day weekend, watching this great game?
I'm in the right place, up here with you guys, and play resumes with 5:09 here in the fourth. St. Mark's just looking to make it respectable, and that's a great check.
That's a great look. St. Mark's running their open pair set, getting Luke Stallings to the middle of the field, drawing the double team, throwing back to the picker, Murphy Paul, who just unfortunately wasn't able to handle the pass, but I love the offensive look for St. Mark's.
And that drive to the crease resulted also in a loose ball push, hence the retained possession and fresh 80.
Luke Stalling and Murphy Paul with the two-man game on the near side. Working it back down behind the X. Now the Lions with some ball movement. Gets it to Ian Mize. And that's a shot that's going to go behind the goal and out of bounds and stay with the Lions. Ian Mize on the hash mark. Dancing up the far side, trying to get the pass out that ricochets off the head of number 17. Another possession for the Lions. Working towards the middle of the field. And that's a shot attempt and a goal by Henry Boykin.
It's a two-man game action again for the Lions out of their pair set. That's Mize and Boykin working the right-hand side. Mize hitting the pick for Boykin. Jesuit reluctant to help off of Mize because of his talent and reputation, so that allows Boykin to turn the corner. And of course, Henry Boykin, one of the best finishers in the state, with an outstanding shot to beat Knight.
I was almost impressed by his lateral movement and how controlled his upper body state and how stable he was when he turned that shot around. That was a very high-level lacrosse, intellectual, physical play from him. I thought it was very impressive.
It says a lot about who Ian Mize is if you're up by 8 scores and you still want to keep guys defending on number 10.
Robertson with a stick check ground ball. Had a presence on the field all game. He had a goal earlier, and he's been causing some chaos with the pull-off face-offs in that midfield, helping the Rangers switch possessions.
And as I was just about to comment on the execution of Jesuit and getting that clear, that's an errant pass by number 11, Charlie Metz. Probably the only thing he's done all evening that's been bad.
It's good to know everybody's human.
That is. Number 11 is definitely human, we've discovered. And 3:15 here in the fourth. And St. Mark's setting up their offense. Down by 7 goals. Luke Stalling trying to dance back inside on the hash mark, and that's a shot attempt that's going to go over the top of the cage.
St. Mark's comfortable staying in their pair set. That's gotten them several good shot opportunities over the last few minutes.
Trying to get to the middle of the field. Trying to get another shot off is Henry Boykin. Eyes with the shot that's over the top of the cage. Again, possession will stay with the Lions with 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Here comes big small action behind the cage.
See the pick. Find the shooter. Another shot attempt with 10 seconds.
I like the shot selection there, going the low to low, trying to get one past Connor with plenty of bodies in front of the crease.
We've seen more shot attempts on goal in this one stanza from the Lions and probably in the entire game.
Well, it's not easy to get the ball past 13. And sometimes that can get in your head as a shooter when you know the reputation of the goaltender you're going against, and then he's off to a great game. It makes you feel like you have to be perfect with your shot instead of letting it go loosely and freely and out of rhythm. And credit to Connor Knight and his abilities in between the pipes.
Yeah, perfectly stated, Coach. You're absolutely right, Coach. That number 13 is probably in their head. This guy has been out there like he has 8 arms. You know, they have not been able to get anything past him. And so you've thrown your absolute best at a guy that's been able to handle everything. And that's going to be a shot clock violation.
So St. Mark's will need to get into a 10-man ride here with 2 minutes left, down 7 goals. So you can see they've pulled the goaltender out and they've extended pressure all the way down to the field.
Jesuit doing a really good job right off the bat, finding an open runner to try to get the clear out, despite this fantastic 10-man by St. Mark's to get it into their offensive zone.
The equivalent of a full court press. And easily broken by the Rangers.
I get a sense they see that quite a bit in practice.
Yes, I think a lot of it, Saran is a huge proponent of making sure that these guys practice game-type scenarios as much as possible so that at a stage like this, they're ready for it.
On the inside. Getting it to Williams, and Williams gets himself out of trouble. Tries the long pass, and good pass and wide open shot on Williams is number 13, Henry Boykin again. And that's his third goal.
And that was the transition goal I think that St. Mark's has wanted for most, if not all of this game.
Yes.
Phenomenal behind the back flip, great move in transition, patience on that extra pass, and a great look for Boykin on the bouncer. And for St. Mark's, that was really one of the goals that coming into the game was what I thought was going to be a massive X factor.
Sure. When you know goals are going to be limited 6-on-6, you've got to try to create as much as you can out of your clearing game and in transition. And that Boykin doing a great job of picking up the loose ball there.
And there it is again, Brian. Ging is gone before the ball is actually secured in his head, and that's Will Reading just doing what he does with another victory at the X. And man, I can't say enough how impressed I am by Will Reading and the job that he's been doing as a Fogo for the Rangers. That's made a tremendous difference in this game, the extra opportunities for possessions that they have.
With all the talent that Jesuit puts on the field, Reading would be my MVP of this game because of what he's done at the X, how he's neutralized Gang and St. Mark's litany of face-off dominance in almost every game they've played, and the extended possessions he's afforded Jesuit has spoken for itself.
I mean, 14 of 21 from the X today. He's just had a day for the ages, and it was great. Earlier on in the broadcast, you mentioned the lineage of goalkeepers that have come through Jesuit, and we mentioned a couple of names. You look at what we've seen from the face-off specialist for Jesuit. I mean, a line of student athletes who have gone on to play at the next level. I know as recently as last year, Henry Suarez playing for St. Joseph's University in Pennsylvania. You have Mason Chandler playing for Amherst, and just so much talent over the years at every position. And I think that's really been a thing that Coach Saran has forged with the culture of his Jesuit Dallas lacrosse program. Just the talent they get year in, year out.
And if going 14 of 21 is not enough, he's got 2 goals.
That's right. And I mean, just a phenomenal performance by the Babson-bound senior.
Had some substitutions out here for Jesuit.
Number 50, Jackson Strausser, he's headed to Southwestern University to play for the Pirates.
.33 seconds left here in the fourth. I think it's comfortable to say, guys, that the Jesuit Rangers will be advancing. And so, obviously for both of these teams making it to this point, very important. But the dominance of the Jesuit Rangers is something that I'm really, really impressed with. I will come away with in this game just to say that the number 1 seed and number 4 seed, seeing these two teams, it is clear who the number 1 seed is here in Dripping Springs.
Sure, Brian, you've had the opportunity to see these guys all year long, and they weren't the number 1 seed by accident. This is a complete team, from the face-off X to the goaltending to the defensive unit to a bunch of skilled, talented, athletic guys on offense. Really not a weak link to this team, and of course exceptionally well coached by Coach Saran and his staff.
And I think something about this team that really needs to be mentioned is the fact that the cornerstone is a wide and talented group of seniors that have all made an impact in their own individual way. I believe it's 16 seniors on this team, 12 or 16 seniors. And when you have that kind of leadership and you have them at impact positions such as the face-off X, McAllister Hobbs in the attack, Tyler Gasm on the back line, and then Connor Knight in goal, when you have that level of experience, Charlie Metz moving in transition as well as all the rest of the members of the senior class, that it means something. It provides the team with that comfort to know that, hey, our leadership backbone is strong. And, we can go ahead and we know that we have a team that can compete, and we have a team that's full of talent, but most importantly, we have a team that is forged by the brotherhood, the Jesuit promote so well within their programs, and I think this team is really an identifier of that.
Jesuit's gone to zone off the timeout with just a few seconds left in the game. They're two shorts playing low.
And Coach Lee, if I could just ask you about St. Mark's and the season that they've had up until this point. Obviously disappointing for them to come here to Dripping Springs and get the loss, but obviously a successful season in itself for the Lions.
Oh, a brilliant season for the Lions, and this season coming off of last year where St. Mark's did not graduate a single senior last year. The entire team was made up of underclassmen, and the experience that they accrued over the course of the 2021 season certainly paid off, and a bunch of guys committed to working very hard and played great lacrosse all year long, and eventually, I think it's clear, just ran into a team that is playing at a higher level, and there's no shame in that. At this, when you get to a state Final Four, you've got a lot to be proud of, and I think the St. Mark's coaching staff and the players should hold their head high on a job well done, and congratulations to Coach Jesuit and the Rangers on their victory, and best of luck in the finals.
Yeah, both of these teams, like you said, nothing to hang your head about. Getting here is the accomplishment. Obviously not what you wanted to do as far as losing, but at the same time, look, just getting here is no one does this for consolation prizes, but this is a consolation prize for the Lions getting this far, and we're going to step aside. This is going to be we're going to step aside for another game after this one here in the THSLL state tournament on Game On Sports. And please, if you're in front of your devices, which most of us are, please follow Game On Sports on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. All the information you need, all things college, all things high school, lacrosse, baseball, basketball, and football on Game On Sports. It is our pleasure to be here with you as representing the THSLL as a broadcasting booth and as a company. So we'll be right back with you guys for the beginning of the third game here in Dripping Springs.
Big surprise. The next